it would be. Yes, yes. Some people, of course, on my Discord already saw this artifact. So, but, you know, we're letting things be. I was a little cheeky with the YouTube thumbnail. By, oh, well, it helps if I grab the YouTube chat. Little cheeky with the YouTube thumbnail, in that I feather or sands, and that I'm hiding it for now. You'll see what it is. You'll see what it is. We'll have a good old yap. By the way, this is like this is quite funny. The game, you know, after the terrible incident, during the buy testing stream where I crafted a goblet for Columbina, and it rolled really sad, right? Like the contrasting that to the first 50 CV I don't have. I've never had a 50 CV and getting one, and then also I will say. Here, let me show Twitch chat what the thumbnail is on YouTube. I hid in the thumbnail. I didn't want to show what type of artifact it was. I showed what set it was. And where is this? Can I find it in my OBS list? No. Am I gonna have to do display capture? No, I don't. There we go. Bam. So, you know, there's the artifact. I'm just gonna hide it from you for a second. I'm gonna hide what the main stat is for a second. Now, it's Albid, obviously, and it has a max EM roll, which is pretty significant on the Albid set. That definitely makes it better. And then I will say, this, like the main thing I have said about things in the past, of how you shouldn't like over focus on trying to like care about getting a 50 CV. Like it's a cool thing to get because it's really rare, right? It's really rare. But this was a piece that was really, really impactful for multiple reasons, and I feel like it's worth discussing. Because the lesson of this is not just that 50 CV pieces are good. The lesson is that this specific category of such a high stat value of this specific piece on a good 2-piece generic set too is quite impactful for like actually giving me build options for many characters potentially. The character that I will be using this on most of the time, at least in the short term, yeah, the number 5 out of 209,000 is not a lie. That is one particular character's Akasha ranking. And I think this particular character, if she had better Akasha leaderboards appropriate to what her literal second best weapon is other than her signature weapon, I think I would have number 1 of this character. I am like 99% confident that this goblet would have... Oops. I spoiled it. I'm 99% it would have given me number 1. And the only other reason I don't have number 1 even with my other pieces on her is because the circlet that I have re-rolled, when I re-rolled it, re-rolled poopy. Like I re-rolled very meh. If I re-roll this circlet in the future, it's very possible I just have number 1. So... anyways, which is bonkers. And what's even more bonkers is another side effect, but anyway, we'll get into it. There's like funny side effects of this thing. Nefer, Nefer would have been a more impactful one as far as giving her a really, really good build goes. I should probably get the Twitch chat on screen, or YouTube chat, sorry. My brain was looking at it in the other window, and I forgot to put it on screen. Whoops. Bam. I changed Twitch. Instead of... Oops, I just deleted Twitch and replaced them with YouTube. There you go. Fix that, and I just voided that out. Zabai review, sure. I guess. We'll do that quick. 1 second. while we wait people for joining in. But yeah, you early joiners, I guess, sneakily got the spoiler that it's a goblet. I'm not gonna spoil the main stat yet, but you know, people in chat have figured it out a little bit. They're also on my Discord, so you know. It was definitely a distraction yesterday that I probably shouldn't have had. I didn't finish the thing I really need to work on, and that's why this stream needs to be a short stream. Like, I cannot stream for more than like 3.5 hours. I need to work on a video that has like a deadline to finish. But anyways, Low roll defense rubbish. True. That goblet is honestly cooked because it has defense percent. This is true. Garbage artifact. For what it's worth, actually, as far as again like 50 CV artifacts goes, this is the first one I got on my main account after 4 years of playing, and with elixirs, so originally the math before elixirs existed, and I think this was like a relatively pessimistic assumption, to be clear. But the math for how likely it is to get a 50 CV artifact at all, not like a particular one in a particular set, just at all. I saw, like, someone wrote like a really fairly in-depth statistical analysis paper analyzing all the things of like the chances of roll variation and baseline stats needing to be high rolls, whatever. Well, yeah, I think technically you don't need the baseline stats to be high roll, but I think they cannot both be min roll. It has to be 4-line goblet. Sorry, not goblet. Goblet doesn't have anything to do with it. It has to be 4-line. Has to have double crit, obviously. Well, technically a circlet is 50 CV inherently if it's crit rate main stat, technically, but I'm not talking about a circlet. The equivalent of a 50 CV piece on a circlet is like 100 CV, technically. Anyways, that's why circlets are good, and why it's actually a rarer piece than having a 50 CV artifact is having like a circlet that has 5 high rolls of crit, or 6 total rolls, but 5 like upgraded rolls. Albade piece, yeah, and we'll see in a second. But anyways, as far as 50 CV goes, like, the other ones I have gotten, right? Or sorry, no, finish the app about the statistics quick. The chances of getting one, like, this is pre-elixirs again, which is important. I don't know how the statistics changes pre-elixirs, or sorry, post-elixirs. And it's kind of, well, no, it's not that hard to theoretically do. You just have to calculate the chance of getting 4-line pieces, and then the guaranteed stats don't change anything with elixirs, and neither do rerollers. Rerollers do not, neither elixirs nor rerollers change the chance of a specific artifact being 50 CV, because the guaranteed rolls only take effect if you miss rolls previously. Like, it's a pity system for your selected stats, right? It is not it does not increase the chance of getting 5 total crit rolls. So if you get 5 crit rolls on like a crafted piece or a reroll piece, you just got normal lucky, which is good. Normal lucky is more ideal over having to use the guaranteed pity system rolls. But anyways, and that's part of why I think like the pity system, like the decree rerolls, are actually better to use on pieces that aren't necessarily like use them on pieces where you're guaranteed to get improvements on the guaranteed rolls, rather than use the like 4-line. Let's say you have the 3 or 4 stat guarantee rerolls from feathers. Using those on like a 4-line goblet just on the chance of it being a 50 CV is probably not worth it, versus using it on something that has a guaranteed improvement to a build, right? Ad for Xfinity while having issues with Xfinity. Nice. But anyways, the statistics like before elixirs was like 1 in every 8 years. I do think the assumptions were a little pessimistic. Like, they were trying to be like the paper that it was literally a paper. Like someone could have wrote this as their undergrad statistics class paper kind of thing. I imagine statistics classes usually just have you running stats just in general, rather than, well, I don't know. I would actually, I haven't taken like a higher level undergrad stats course. I would hope that most of them would focus on like statistics for like scientific studies, I would hope. And I would hope they actually try to get you to use statistics in like a real world application scenario, because statistics is really, really useful to understand in the real world. Really useful. But anyways, the paper I saw, like, I think was making some baseline. You have to make it based on assumptions of like what typical player behavior is for how much resin they would spend on artifacts, and I think that was actually a little bit pessimistic of an assumption. But anyways, one in 8 years. One every 8 years is what you would expect at the baseline, with elixirs now that give more double crit pieces. I believe that paper did factor in that Strongbox was increased chance of 4-line pieces, but I don't know. I don't remember what the assumptions were again for how much was Strongboxed. Again, I think it was a little bit pessimistic assumptions. I would say in practice it's probably once in like every 6 years you could expect a 50 CV, but once in every 6 years does not mean you are going to get one. It just means that's when you are expecting to. It's the same thing as like when you wish for an early 5-star, it's like 1 in every 180 pulls you should get an early 5-star with the 0.6% base rate. I believe it's about 1 in every 180. But you can easily, but it's also, you know, you've heard of plenty of people that have gone 400 pulls without getting an early 5-star. That's happened to me in Zenless on the not in Zenless. It happened to me in Star Rail. I went like 500 pulls in Star Rail without getting a single early. That's quite unlucky. The same thing could happen. You could go 12 years without seeing a 50 CV artifact easily. But anyways, I think the average is probably closer to 6 years for most players. Just in general, on one account, to be clear, on one account. Now I have played multiple accounts, and I would say I have gotten luckier than average for getting 50 CP pieces, because now technically in all 3 of the accounts I've actually done any amount of farming, and I have gotten a 50 CP on each of them. The other 2 though were not very impactful pieces, and that's the whole point of this discussion actually, in that my polearm account, sadly this is the most useless one, despite the fact that it's like a godly goblet. It is a hydro goblet with like 3.9 crit rate, 44.3 crit damage, and an HP percent roll and flat HP. So for any HP scaling hydro damage dealer, Mualani, Yelan, whoever, really good. Now technically there's fun shenanigans I did and have done, or can do, sorry, with Candace on polearms only, but let's be real, a hydro goblet on polearms only, not the greatest piece to get, not exactly useful. And it also was on Shimenawas, which is not a useful set. It didn't like enable even like, it didn't even like if I wanted to do shenanigans with Candace, it didn't really usually enable itself as an onset piece most of the time, outside of like really silly shenanigans like, again, hydro infuse Zhongli, and then I put Shimenawas on him kind of thing. The amount of artifact farming is so different between players. Yeah, exactly. That's why like the paper doing 1 every 8 years probably rolled a little, or went a little pessimistic. Different amounts of artifact farming significantly changes the statistics on when you would expect to see a 50 CV. I probably do more artifact farming than the average player, realistically. Particularly if we include the average player of people that like don't log in every day, right? So, anyways, that's a factor. The casual account, but the polearms only got that piece like 2 or 3 months into the account, before we got the hydro goblet before we even knew Candace was a character that was coming out. so when I first got that artifact on polearms only, it was literally useless. It literally did nothing. It was hilarious. And even after Candace, it functionally still does nothing. Like, Candace doesn't use that goblet nowadays. She did for a while, but now it's far more relevant to build her on HP. Hydro polearm Sanjona coming true. Surely someday I'll be able to utilize that piece. And there'll be an attack scaling and HP scaling hydro damage dealer to take advantage of both the Shimenawa artifact set and the HP subsets. Trust me. Trust me. Anyways, so that artifact, functionally like a funny one to have, but also functionally useless, right? And that's important for me to point out, because that like 1 in every, say, 6 years number that I threw out, of when you would get a 50 CV, that could be a death percent piece, right? And like, yay, at least we got Zibai existing now, but then like if you didn't happen to like the very very small number of death scaling units that they release, like you didn't happen to like Zibai and didn't want to pull her, that a 50 CV death goblet ain't gonna do shit for you, right? So anyways, that's important, and that's where I'm getting to. Like, the piece I got is not that kind of piece. The piece I got is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It will enable multiple characters into the future to have overly good builds, and I'm gonna have to be like, yep, FYI, I'm using the best artifact on my account on this character's build. I'm sorry, it's unrelatable. Let me have fun with my characters. But whatever, it's fine. Ultimately, the point of like this is why I stopped like caring about powering down my characters most of the time, other than like one-time short showcases to show like, yeah, this is what the character would perform like if I didn't have this constellation or this artifact or whatever the fuck. Is because like what makes my account unrelatable is not necessarily the constellations or 5-star weapons. It's more honestly just how long I've been playing. And it's the same. I think any account that has been playing for a long time compared to an account, particularly like daily logins. I've been playing Genshin as my job, compared to an account that hasn't, is just like not comparable at all. It doesn't even like minor factors like individual constellations in a specific team don't matter. I know if you look at the collective of like how many things I have in general, how many 5-star weapons I have in general, how many 5-star constellations I have in general, sure, like yeah, that is unrelatable. That does give me more options to like clear things like Stygian Onslaught at Dire, sure. But you don't need to clear Dire to have fun. I hope that isn't what you need to have fun, at least. And secondarily, I can't use all of those things at once. That's something people forget a lot when looking at a weird account like mine. But anyways, no one's really calling my account unrelatable anymore. I think I've succeeded in, at least to my own community, convincing people that the unrelatable aspect is just playing for a long time. Anyways, also got a 49 CV, nice. I think my highest CV piece on this account was like 48, 49 CV. I'd have to go take a perusal to see what the second highest one is. I'm pretty sure I have a 48, 49. I might have multiple, actually. Like, the best artifact quality across my accounts is probably still on my main account, but that's because I make really specific decisions on trying to optimize farming for different artifact sets that I think are valuable, right? Anyways, the casual account for real quick was an emblem feather that I got literally in the first month of farming because I farmed emblem because it was the casual account, or it was when it was weapons only, and I only had like a bunch of free characters mostly, and like emblem was a very relevant set back then in general, but it also was just relevant for the characters I had available. And the game pooped a emblem feather with like HP percent, 11.3 crit rate, and 28 crit damage on me. I was like, oh, okay, there's a random emblem feather. An emblem, not good of an emblem feather. It's a really good artifact. Don't get me wrong. But not having ER, like, it didn't actually fun. Like, it allowed my Xiangling in that account to be overly good, but like, I didn't get C4 Xiangling until the account stopped being what I made the account for in the first place. Like, that feather really didn't change the experience on the account at all, despite the fact that it was on a better set. For having that, right? And like, if that was on my main account, I would have gotten more utility out of it. I could use that on Yelan. I could use that as a two-piece in more situations. But the nature of the casual account was such that like a 50 CV artifact is not as strong on an account that doesn't like try to min-max things in general, right? Like, there's not much need to have a 50 CV piece if you're not like trying to push combat to its limits in the first place. I'd do that on my main account. So anyways, enough stalling. I'm so sorry for what you're about to see here. I'm so damn sorry. Inefa is straight up one of the best characters in the game, and I literally got the God artifact for her. Like, technically it could be better by having... This started with double crit max rolls, by the way. So technically it could have rolled higher. It could be 4 CV higher. It could be 4 CV higher. Also one of the, like, so this being an onset goblet, right? Yeah, it could have ER. It could have flat attack. That's the two things that could have been actually better. Where does your Nefa place? I'll talk about the Akasha leaderboard. So with this timepiece that I also got, this is ridiculous too. Like, I now have the literal perfect build, by the way, other than like a very minor improvement that could happen from the circlet. Like it's not, okay, I shouldn't say very minor, but like I'm pretty sure one additional roll. Okay, I think I would have number 1 in Nefa for a Staff of Scarlet Sands build. This is her second best weapon, by the way, and there's no Akasha leaderboard for it. And you build her completely differently with this weapon because this weapon substantially changes the value of EM stats. And the ideal, theoretically on paper, assuming equivalent substats, is EM timepiece and attack goblet, or attack timepiece EM goblet, whatever gives you the better balance. Statistically, you're more likely to have a better EM timepiece and a better attack goblet, right? So it's the generic recommendation. But you can do EM. You can still do attack on Staff of Scarlet Sands. You don't have to do EM attack. That's just like the spreadsheet optimal combo, assuming equivalent substats. Ultimately, in my testing, I found that I was actually a little bit better off using an EM goblet before. Not anymore, obviously. You want to know something really stupid? Despite the fact that like attack main stat is like a more common thing, I didn't technically have a 40 CV attack goblet before this. So I have a 50 CV attack goblet and no 40 CV. The highest CV attack goblet I had was this one, which is like 39.5 CV or something stupid. Like it's basically 40, to be clear. Like you're splitting hairs at that point. It doesn't actually matter in practice, but still, it's not 40 CV technically. So it's quite funny to me that I wait. Is this no? This is not. This is like again. I barely not. This is I think another one that's barely not. Like I have a funny number of 4 crit roll attack goblets that are not that are not 40 because of low roll values, and then LOL straight to 50 with an freaking EM roll, which is so stupid. Anyways, I didn't even record this, by the way, because I was just like, I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood to click record. I just threw an artifact into it. It immediately just like said 7.8 crit rate, 28 crit damage, and I was like, oh. And I couldn't even be arsed to wait to launch OBS to record it. And I feel like if I would have launched OBS, I would have cursed it, would have rolled defense, right? And then it went another high roll into crit damage. It's like, okay, then. All right. We take it. So, aggro style emotes. I implemented a few days ago. Aggro gave me a few emotes. Thank you, aggro. So, anyways, yeah, you should never expect to get a 50 CV artifact, and in particular, you should really never expect to get one that is on an impactful set, and particularly that is an onset goblet on a very relevant character for team building versatility. Now, I did run some numbers, quote unquote, wink, wink, in trying to figure out whether or not like this basically functionally perfect Nefa build at this point, which I'll go over the whole build, because what the reason this is actually powerful is because it influences the whole build, because it's an onset goblet, which is ridiculous, so that I can use a good off piece. In this case, I believe this is my best off piece most of the time. It kind of depends still, but this is like basically by like, for understanding like the quality of artifacts, you need to understand like this kind of artifact is very similar in overall value for a character like a Nefa, at least, as this artifact is. I'm not kidding. Like, she is not an on-fielder. EM and attack stats for her damage are not that much worse than crit. And having overall higher roll values in general for her damage is more important than just over prioritizing crit. So, like, most players would probably make the mistake of, say, using this as an off piece instead, right? Which is like, oh, look at that, 11.7 attack percent, and that's more crit. It's a tiny bit less crit damage, but more crit rate, right? And more attack percent. Wow, that's better, right? And each of them have, like, they're 4-line pieces with no bad rolls, to be clear, right? But, in fact, the emblem piece is better. Right, and this is literally just a diff of low roll values versus high roll values. So, although the attack rolls are a little low roll value, but anyways, yeah, what this does for Nefa in particular is it enables her to move to a different piece. Part of the reason I chose to do an off-piece flower is because I don't like. I think an off-piece circlet would have theoretically, for a lot of people's accounts, been better. I seem to have pretty terrible circlet luck. Like, the best circlet I could have put on her, like I don't have that good of circlets basically. Like I did check Akasha ranking with this. This is good. It has no bad rolls, but there's no EM, no ER. Like the perfect circlet would be crit rate, EM, ER, attack percent subset, and then like at 2 rolls into a crit rate, and 2 rolls into attack percent, 1 into EM kind of thing. I don't have that. Like my crit damage circlets are just not actually that good. And therefore, like I don't really have a crit damage circlet that's that much better than this relative to how much I could improve her off piece, even though I already had a good onset. Like this is a very good onset flower. Don't get me wrong. But this flower has 1 additional total stat roll in general, and it's way higher roll value and whatever. So anyways, and also a really significant side benefit, and this is one of the really powerful things of onset goblets in general, but especially an onset goblet this good, it allowed me to free this flower for Columbina, because for Columbina before, I was like using this, and for the team I'm using Columbina and Anefa together right now the most in with Raiden. These ER stats are just not needed, and my crit rate is also a little low on Columbina, so I was able to significantly improve my Columbina build as well as significantly improve my Anefa build. That's why this onset goblet is so powerful. It's why it can be worth crafting onset goblet sometimes. It's part of why I was willing to craft a onset goblet for Columbina the other day. It went poorly. It went basically as terrible as it could go because it did double crit min roll. Rolled a shit ton into death percent. It was 4-line technically, but that didn't do anything for me. I feel like if it wasn't an elixir piece, it just would have gone all into defense, which would have been funnier. I would have rather had the 4-line piece that rolls 40% defense than this piece of poop. But anyways, technically it's still good for me, to be clear, right? This is still was technically an improvement to my Columbina build, but contrasting this piece that I crafted with the Anefa goblet is really funny. So anyways, yeah, like now my Columbina build, by the way, with the ability to have the flower that used to be on Anefa is really good. And yes, this is 100 ER Columbina on Albade. That does have the ability to burst every rotation, because yay for Raiden. Well, and the energy refund helps, to be clear. I think if I wasn't running this weapon with 0 ER, even with Raiden, I'd probably want a little bit of ER substats, and I would maybe want to use the other flower anyways. But anyways, you know, this puts Columbina at 79% crit rate with Albade and plenty of crit damage with an HP circlet. So, yeah. But anyways, despite these now really good builds, by the way, I am fairly certain I will not be able to clear a Knuckle Duckle at dire difficulty next patch. So, all this yapping about, like, min-maxing build potential, and like, ooh, this will improve my DPS, and we'll go play some teams with Anefa, of course, today. Like, I don't actually think it's going to result, that this is the important thing to keep in mind with like min-maxing your builds to this extent, right? Is relative to the difficulty of actually acquiring a build this good. And Anefa is by far now the best build character. Like, she has just the best build on my account. Before it was Lanyon, and by the way, I might be able to actually improve Lanyon's build with this new artifact, maybe, but I'd have to get another like perfect piece essentially in the Albade set, because 2-piece EM is a set that I can compellingly use on Lanyon. So like it could maybe be a very impactful piece for Lanyon actually, but I would need another like 4-line perfect piece, because my Lanyon basically has a bunch of 4-line perfect pieces. Like my Lanyon has the other best artifacts in my account. This was the piece I was talking about before that I think was, no, this isn't. This is like, what is it, 9.3, 18. This is like 46 CV. Okay, I thought I had a 49 CV, but I don't remember. It's not that. That's a 40, like 44. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just don't have anything higher than like a 40, 45, 44, 46, whatever. Anyways, my Lanyon has like, for overall stat value, has like no improvements that could be made other than like this could be a 4-line piece and whatever. Like it's actually not possible for me to improve my Lanyon build. It's other than technically having the same quality artifacts, but on a 4-piece set that's technically could be better for her, right? But this 2-piece is so damn good, it's basically impossible to do that on a 4-piece set. So anyways, the new goblet might potentially change my Lanyon's build. It might become Lanyon's goblet eventually. The problem is I generally find that I prefer an animo damage goblet on Lanyon, and I have this ridiculous animo goblet, which can function as an onset goblet for her. So I don't find that likely, but it's possible. What's my Lanyon split? What do you mean by split? Like or I know what split means in a genericized context, but splitting what? Nicole will be a Lanyon support, yes. Nicole will be a Lanyon support that gives a ton of damage bonus and therefore makes attack goblet better on her. Oh, her crit rate. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for asking that. 71, 73. Which, to be clear, is not a balanced ratio. Personally, my experience has been like, I can't really push Lanyon much past, like I can theoretically have builds that push her towards 80% crit rate about, or technically more if I use Nefer's weapon instead of this because it gives crit rate, right? But pushing her anywhere past like 75 crit rate requires sacrificing quite a lot of crit damage, and that just gives me less satisfying numbers from her. And I don't know, the experience of using a 70 crit rate character versus an 80% crit rate character is not vastly different, in my opinion, for Lanyon, actually, specifically, at least. Like, I don't know. It depends on the content you're facing and whatever. I have found that I am more than fine with dealing with some crit RNG, essentially, in exchange for having bigger satisfying numbers from Lanyon. And it allows me more to actually optimize around. Like, I can absolutely optimize around whether or not my burst hits all of its hits. Crits all of its hits, for example. Because that can be a difference of like almost 100,000 damage, whether or not her burst crits entirely. So, yep, 49.8 CV and it's an HP circlet. I mean, hey, if you got Columbina, maybe it's relevant on her. To be clear, I think HP circlet's only technically worth it on her with her Sig, based on the numbers I ran, but still, I'm using it on her. So it can be useful. I think the worst circlet, worst piece to get a 50 CV on would probably be a def percent circlet, I think. Yeah. Or no, sorry, I forgot healing bonus exists. The worst piece would be a healing bonus circlet. There's not a lot you could do with the 50 CV healing bonus circlet yet. Varka's so weak because he'll get a cracked shielder animo set, and when Varka gets a shielder. This is entirely based on spreadsheets and numbers that I've ran based on publicly available information, by the way. Varka, you know, I've been saying we gotta embrace the Duke a little bit. Based on my spreadsheet experience, spreadsheets. He's not Duke. He's like Duke, kind of. Like there's like specific things that you can find from publicly available footage and running a lot of numbers yourself. Duke. That really makes him like he like, you can see his animations. There's very flashy. He looks like he's like a 2026, you know, 2025. He looks like a post Natlan upgraded animation quality character. But what he is most likely going to feel like is a 2023 Genshin character, okay? That's not to say you won't be able to have fun with him. I think you will be able to have fun. I think his problem though is like if we compare him to Dia actually is designed in a way that has qualities in her kit that explain why she does less damage. Like the fact that she's extraordinarily tanky and she gives you off-field utility. Varka has none of those qualities. I really don't feel like Varka has things in his kit that reward his restrictions properly or his performance properly relative to newer units. So I hope to God he is either free He's a limited unit that is either free. And by the way, the numbers, the spreadsheets, the spreadsheets, that I was running, wink. I was assuming his signature weapon, which is like a 35% upgrade for him over his free-to-play weapon, to be clear. So I don't know. I think the best cope we have right now is that Genshin is probably coming to Steam next patch. And maybe as part of coming to Steam, they're going to try to get like Steam players to try Genshin. And that he's free to try to like get people to play Genshin. So they're going to like make the hot man free to like deal with that stereotype of like, oh, it's Gunnar game like from other gaming communities, and if they see tall man being advertised, maybe they'll actually give it a shot. Maybe that's why he's balanced like he is, guys. Maybe. Or he's standard banner. That would be free but later. But anyways, if he's not either standard banner or free, I don't know. I only poll the dude if you think you're really gonna like him. Okay. that's my current feeling. Based on the spreadsheets. Anyways, let's go farm artifacts and then go faff about with 2026 Steam Aloy. Exactly. Do I want to build him if he's free? Don't expect him to uplift. I mean, like, he could be a strong character depending on, like, if you pull Durin and you have some of the other compelling teammates for him. One of them is Bennett, to be clear. Like, you probably have good enough teams, but if you didn't pull Durin, I think he will probably struggle to feel as compelling. And therefore, like, if you don't have Durin, I don't think there's a reason to build him if he is free. Unless you like him again. Like, you can just have fun with him as a generic unit. He has weird utility on a generic casual level in the fact that, you know, he has his infusion. Like keep in mind, you can have a Barbara in the party, and then his normal attacks will apply a bunch of Hydro. And if you know anything about the combat of this game, Hydro good. And, like, not on a, like, oh, this will clear Stygian Onslaught at Fearless difficulty level, but on a level of it'll clear content in the game, you can put him as a Hydro unit with a Hydro unit in the team that doesn't even apply any Hydro, and then Varka himself will apply Hydro and enable whatever for your off-field character. Xiangling to vaporize, probably, maybe, hopefully. I'm not actually sure about that. Xiangling might apply too much Pyro, but I mean, if Xiangling applies a lot of Pyro, that means Varka is vaporizing. So it's a win-win either way. That doesn't mean it'll, again, not be an endgame, like, Stygian clearing thing, or even necessarily comfortable in Abyss, because Abyss is a lot harder nowadays, but it will be good enough on, like, the casual player level and flashy animations and whatever. Why they keep making cool and ass male characters, I don't know. I hope he is free. If I happen to have to make... I don't have to do anything. If I happen to make a creator server video, if I happen to get access to creator server, which I cannot confirm or deny having access to, it's gonna be a little hard to present him in a way that is like, yeah, he's fun, here's the fun things you can do with him, without it clearly just being really cope. So, anyways, yeah, this is enough, by the way, with cracked build. We'll go over Akasha things and whatever. But yeah, I do think the build I currently have on her would be number one if we had I spent a little bit of Risen last night because weird. Also weird, but 3-liner meh. I don't think I really need this at this point with my account, but on principle, double crit goblet we keep, and then this. Is this relevant? I gotta check my cryo goblets. Anyways, ER instructors, it was a 2-liner. But to be clear, is this can 2-liner instructor pieces be relevant? Sure. But not for me at my point on my account. What am I doing? Let's go to you. Electro bonus. So we have this. That is crit damage attack percent in ER, and it's got 3 rolls. Yeah, I'd be surprised if this ends up rolling well enough to be worth caring about, but it's cool to have. What about cryo bonus? Just need to know if I should keep it. Okay, it's just a balanced piece. Okay, I have pieces that are heavy in crit rate. I don't have anything heavy in crit damage, and that means it's probably relevant to keep. Alright, cool. So, anyways, Vark will be best in slot, burst support for Alice, true. Cat update. I'll just give you a cat cam, but DD has been sneezing since he's gotten his antibiotics a lot more, but like not like the same like prolonged 1-minute sequence of machine gun sneezes, so it's still like, oh boy. I don't know, like in some ways it feels like he's gotten worse, but it also very clearly seems like his immune system is responding a little bit differently to whatever he has going on. And so my hope is that it's, you know, a good kind of change, like his body is recovering or whatever. So that would be my kitty update. And also, this creature was being so freaking cute. Like, the reason I was a little bit late to start the stream was because he was laying by my side in bed in a really, like, you know, stereotypical cat position. And then I would just like stayed in bed for a bit because, you know, you let him be. And then when cat is being cute, and then I was like, okay, I should probably, you know, do work things, go play video games for a living. Oh, terrible. And then like I sat up, you know, sitting on the side of my bed, and he immediately, like, it wasn't like I was sitting for a long time, immediately went into my lap, and I was like, bro, I can't, this cat is too cute. Loaf or Sphinx, yeah, that's him. So anyways, that's what he did today. Ownership numbers are good. Designed strong mill characters, don't lie. Nuvelet and Kazo have crazy high ownership. Yeah, like, I don't know. The only explanation of him being bad, he could just be bad in a limited character because post Lantern right characters they just make bad for some reason. I don't get why they have to though, other than like maybe it does anger some portion of the community that they would release like a good character. Like I do feel like there is different behavior in different markets, like potentially in China, where if they consistently release good characters, there are times of the year when people don't want to spend, like after Lunar New Year, when people don't want to spend money, and then therefore like Hoyoverse releases a worse character, and so that people can be like, ah, yes, I don't need to spend money, that's good, thank you Hoyoverse for being good company that doesn't make me need to spend money when I'm trying to be money conscious. Like maybe people feel good about that in China, I don't know. I haven't actually seen any real confirmation of that theory though. Quick opinion on my Lanyang, because I had an idea. Sure, I need to set up alerts. I barely even caught that you gave me bits. Also, I just remembered I didn't even look at the Zabai earlier, did I? Whoever requested the Zabai thing earlier, can you recommend it or put it here again? And then we'll also look at my Nefa Akasha stuff quick before we actually do in-game things.
I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
There we go. Crap. That's the turtle. Hello, Sea Ghost. How are you? Ahmed, that was you? Alright, thank you, Ahmed. Quick Lanyang things. Lanyang say you get free character reviews. Nocturnes, I mean... She can trigger lunar reaction. She probably triggers the energy consistently at least. Everything else is kind of useless on her though. I wouldn't personally use it. What's your idea? Like, I guess technically this might increase her reaction damage contribution. I don't actually know for sure that it does. I don't know if it only affects lunar reaction talent damage or not. Do I believe Nicole will save Varka? I think if Nicole will save Varka, she will do as much for other teams as she will for Varka. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Nicole is made in a way that accidentally uplifts my Lanyon more than it uplifts Varka. Quite frankly. So, anyways, happen to get 2 of it. Oh, I see. Figuring out who to put it on. Honestly, I think the only relevant other use case is Nefer, but I'm willing to bet you have Nefer Sig. Yup. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you have. Yeah. So, yeah. Honestly, like, it's basically just Nuviolette, Nefer. I think. Like, I don't know. This would definitely be worth. Like, I have found that when I optimize a C6 Lanyon around Nefersig in, like, Abyss content in particular, that allows me to, like, adapt a couple of rotations around, like, enemy stall mechanics and front load her damage a lot more with the skill from C6, which, again, is not an extra skill per rotation, but with stall mechanics and from enemies and also enemies having like specific phases where dealing front loaded damage to them is more important, like have to use stun them or whatever, right? I do think that Lanyon would be better off on Sacrifice for you, quite frankly, for DPS Lanyon. Like, I have barely gotten the ideal weapons for her stat stick weapons that are alternatives to Sac Frags be able to be, like, equivalent. And it's only in, like, ideal situations for them. And even then, Sac Frags can, generally speaking, compete. Even when optimized, even when you, like, RNG optimize and not just RNG optimize, but RNG optimize with it and optimize other aspects of gameplay around C6 Lanyon. So, it's still Sacrifice is my recommendation to keep things simple. It's too good on the DPS Lanyon. Anyways, look at Zibai real quick, and then we'll go over my Akasha stuff. Because, yep, my Nefa is... Oops, why did I collapse it? Yeah, oops, I just noticed. Seems okay. The circlet is so funny, by the way. The circlet is so funny in contrast here. By the way, this was definitely me Akasha scamming because, again, Akasha doesn't have a Staff of Scarlet Sands leaderboard. I'll go over some specifics of why I think so, but I am fairly confident I would have, even with this sad circlet, I am fairly confident I would have #1 in EFA if there was actually a Staff of Scarlet Sands leaderboard. But anyways, let's go look at the Zabai quick because it was a redeem that someone used their channel points for. Even Hydromorph's burst down next to Barca premium team perform similar to Razor premium feels wrong. Yeah. To be clear, I think Barca will feel better on average. Barca is not energy reliant, but you know, I do think it's a little weird how his burst is. I don't know. They generally have been designing most like main DPS's bursts. Like Nefer, when they're not, obviously Flynn's is a burst DPS, but even Flynn's big burst is the same situation. Like Flynn's big burst, Nefer burst, Zibai burst are all like good enough that you should use them kind of thing, but don't need to over prioritize them. And I think that's a good balance. Varka's is actually just not balanced in a way to be worth using, and that's again another feeling of that's like is he free? Because that's again like 2023 Genshin character bullshit. Where like bursts are just literally not worth using. Like to be clear, I will probably I want to do something with Varka with quick swap utility on him with like just emblem build Varka with his burst, because his burst does have an elemental hit with a big multiplier that you can do something stupid with like Seal Ollie and whatnot. But anyways, so you can use Shimenawa's on him. Honestly, yeah, it does mean Shimenawa's is quite good on him to the degree that you could like put Shimenawa's on him if you have a good Shimenawa build, and then put your Durin with Varka on the new artifact set instead, that might be optimal because he barely loses anything being on Shimenawas.
Alone and unchanging.
But anyways, Zibai. I'm still tempted to get Zibai, honestly. I don't know. Flute of Epsital. Epitol. Not Epsital. 222 EM, that's satisfying. Def crit, nice. This is a 170 crit build. You're technically overcapped with Eat Lua, but I'm gonna guess you're not playing with Eat Lua. Would be my assumption. Relatable HP substats on your def scaler. That's a very good flower. A little bit low in crit value, but oh well. Obviously with a non-crit weapon, no Harbinger of Dawn, whatever. So the reason to use Flute of Epitol is, of course, if you are playing her in a team that doesn't have as comfortable, like if you're playing her banner team, for example, like Goro, Aino, Eat Lua, then obviously most players will probably not find it comfortable enough to play with Harbinger of Dawn. But just depends. Otherwise, don't forget Harbinger of Dawn exists, because in your case, you could literally just axe this crit rate circlet and add a crit damage circlet, and still be at 100% crit rate with a Harbinger of Dawn. So, you know, keep that in mind. But yeah, I would recommend Harbinger of Dawn if you can, if you're using a team. Like personally, with Zibai being a pretty tanky character and Columbina on Prototype Amber, which you have, I was fine in most scenarios when I have tested her. Both when I originally played her on Creator Server, which I didn't make a video on, but when I did other testing with her. But some enemies, though, you're going to still have to dodge more if you're only using Prototype Ember alone with Zibai. If you also are doing something like, you know, I don't know if you have a Nefa, but if you're doing like a Nefa Columbina, the Prototype Ember and a shield should make you perfectly bound to use Harbinger, right? It just kind of depends, right, on the situation to some extent, and how much confidence you have in your ability to dodge. One thing I really like about Zibai is that she is relatively free to dodge. It's not that punishing to have to do a dodge on her. And yeah, I don't know. And again, she's not that incredible of a character by any means, because of the problem, in my opinion, of like if you have Nefer and you have Flynn's, and you get Zibai, they both like want Columbina for their best teams, and like Nefer for most people is gonna like significantly gain value from having Columbina on their team, at least if you have Lamma. And Zibai doesn't gain quite as much, so like the ideal is probably not using Columbina with Zibai, and then maybe you do want to use Flute of Epsital if you're not having the healing or whatever. But yeah, anyways, you get the point. Zibai is in this kind of weird middle ground, and I feel like there is some shenanigans with her. In some ways, I think she's the best balanced knockout DPS they've released, and the easiest to skip at the same time. But also, if you like her, it's pretty easy to get value from her, right? So, yeah. Anyways, oh wait, we're gonna go over Akasha thing. So sorry. So yeah, this was a little bit of Akasha scamming. To be clear, what the Akasha scamming versus for the reason I was called Akasha scamming is because I think it's Akasha scamming when I'm purposely trying to equip my character balanced around a weapon that I'm not actually going to use. To be clear, I have R5 deathmatch. I just don't think I would actually normally use it on her. Although it is a good drip weapon for her, as far as drip weapons go for Nefa. I think Staff of Scarlet Sands is not terrible looking because it has like yellow orangey glows, which kind of matches things. The Jade Wing Spear is an affront to existence. I think Skyward Spine looks pretty good. Also doesn't have a leaderboard, which is annoying because it gives crit. Homo looks really good on her because, you know, red, blue, whatever. Murica. Deathmatch looks pretty damn good too, but I hate the damn arrows, but she's an off-field unit, so it's not that big a deal. And then from there, I think that's basically it. I mean, Dragon's Bane, I guess, looks kind of cool. But then you got the always nice looking fab weapons. Also Royal Spear. Kitane looks okay. Missive Wind Spear looks pretty good. Oh, I forgot about this. This weapon looks really good. Unironically, part of the reason I leveled this was because I liked it as a drip weapon for her. But anyways, Looks so good on her, but it's so bad. Why is it, what? In what reality is this bad? This is basically really, really similar to Skyward Spine, if not better, arguably, for a lot of contexts. Like, her skill, she keeps max stack, and it takes like 6 seconds to build up, yes. But it's less annoying to keep this passive up on her, far less annoying than Staff of Scarlet Sands, was it procs off healed. Anyways, if you happen to have Refines of it, it's a ridiculous weapon, then, by the way. Where do you get this weapon? It was only ran, I believe, on the Nefer weapon banner, which is a shitty weapon banner. Like, most people don't have this. I wish I had gotten more copies of it because it's a cool weapon, but if they happen to rerun, like, if they do a... if Varka is free, and they do, like, a Flynn's Escoffier weapon banner, I will be tempted to, like, wish on the weapon banner before I wish on any characters and see which weapons I get. And I would particularly be convinced to do that if this weapon was on the banner as well. Actually, okay, if Escoffier runs with Varka, I'd also be tempted, because if I do get Varka, I would like the Duke man to have his signature, because, man, I don't know. If you're gonna like Varka enough to pull him in the first place, I think you might end up liking Varka enough to get a sig. To do everything you can to make him still Duke, but Duke in more tolerable ways. Anyways, so that's, I guess, you know, maybe that's my ideal weapon banner next patch. This weapon rerunning with Escoffier weapon, because that's Chevreu's signature weapon, and then fuck using it on Escoffier. I don't give a shit about her. And then yeah. You get the point. Anyways, I could use it on Escoffier, to be clear, and I might sometimes. But the problem is it requires bursting on Escoffier, and my preferred Skirk team, unless I need to do more damage, is a Skirk team with Charlotte that doesn't burst on Escoffier. So, what does it do for me? Nothing. Anyways, what was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, my build. Yeah, so it's a little bit, like, to be clear, that build is basically the same as what I have equipped right now, other than instead of an EM timepiece, I put this attack timepiece on, right? Which, this is a very good timepiece, obviously. But it is amusingly one of the lower value pieces on the build. So, yeah, and it ranks like that. The somewhat surprising thing, so for a Jadewing Spear build, I believe, so Jadewing Spear has less crit rate. So I changed the flower with the same build here, other than changing the flower to a flower that is normally on my Yai, which I will show you. Which I don't think I saved this on Akasha. Is this one. And on Jadewing Spear, so this would be not an Akasha scam, because I would actually consider using Jadewing Spear on her sometimes if I don't want to deal with Staff of Scarlet Sands weirdness. With Jadewing Spear, and this has an off piece. Again, this is why, like, onset goblet and an onset goblet this good is so stupid. Oh yeah, this actually might be the other highest CV piece. Sorry, I think this might be the second highest CV piece on my account. What is this? 17.9 times 2 plus 13.2. Yeah, this is a 49 CV. This was, like, very, very close. Like, this is functionally a 50 CV, right? Like, let's be real. And this is better than a 50 CV that didn't have attack percent, right? That's also something important to keep in mind. Or HP percent for an HP scaler. Like, this is a really, really good piece to have. Like, I've used this many times to improve, like, my character's builds as an off piece, and, like, this is one of the reasons having an onset goblet can be good on my account. And it's why it can be worth taking risks crafting an HP goblet for Columbina. No, I wasn't planning to use this on her, to be clear, because what I actually wanted to use was my can I just find it without having to... There it is. I wanted to use this on Columbine as my off piece, which this piece is also one of the higher CV pieces on my account, but I think this is like a 45. Anyways, sorry, it's just flexing unrelatable artifacts today, my bad. So, as far as my Anefa goes, right, this is a little bit of Akasha scamming. Like, I was purposely trying to see how much I could swap different pieces around to push the leaderboard up higher. And yeah, so, like, being able to get up to a rank 5, and I believe I also got up to, like, rank 6 on a Fractured Halo leaderboard. And with that, I literally just put or on Homa, because Homa has the same like base stats. And then I actually got a crit yesterday as well. I also got this, which this lets me have like I believe like I have like top 10 build on Fav. Because I got this, I have top 10 build on Fav and like Homa or on her Sig. She doesn't have a Homa leaderboard. The Homa leaderboard we basically rank the same as her Sig. Because it's the same base stats, so it doesn't really change much for the most part. But yeah, so anyways, this is not like amazing, oh my gosh, incredible, crazy circlet. This is just a quite good circlet, I would say, right? Like I am very happy with this circlet normally on pretty much any context. But and so this means like I could have basically any of Inefa's leaderboards. I have the artifacts to have top 10 to top 20 builds. But my actual build that I think I will use on Inefa most of the time, right, again, is with this ridiculous EM timepiece. And EM timepiece is not ideal. Like, it's not without Staff of Scarlet Sands. Because, again, Staff of Scarlet Sands is a weapon that when your skill hits opponents, and this is much easier to maintain max stacks if there's any kind of AoE going on. If there's not AoE, it can be a little bit awkward. But as long as you time things properly, it's not that tricky. And on average, it still gives a whack ton of crit at a baseline. And even if you don't have max stats, it's still good. But anyways, the point is it significantly increases the value of EM stats because EM stats get converted to attack stats, right? You're double dipping in the value of EM stats because EM is still increasing her lunar damage, but it's also increasing her attack, which is also increasing her damage. It's a really good weapon on her. This is her second best weapon. I guess like it's not common enough to have, and that's why the Akasha owner didn't make a leaderboard for it. I literally DM'd them, the Akasha creator, owner, manager. I was like, hey, can I like give you a donation to make a Staff of Scarlet Sands Inefa leaderboard? The insane thing though is so when you have a weapon on your character on Akasha that doesn't exist, it tries to like match the closest stats. So, like if you it'll like rank you, it'll give you a leaderboard ranking up top here, based on like the weapon that's closest. So if you equip like a Skyward Spine, it'll give you like a Favonius Lance ranking most likely, but because it's like the one ER weapon here and it has a similar ER but it doesn't have the crit, right? Which means like you can balance your build differently with Skyward Spine versus a Favonius Lance on Nefa. But anyways, the sauce build, the incredible thing about this is, this is with the this is with the wrong piece, sorry. But I guess why did I save the wrong one? Whoops, my bad. Can I refresh it? Let's see if the one of the new feather is better. I assume one of the new feather is better because there's not a 115 ER category. If I feel like I need the 10 ER, then this piece would be better. But if I don't need the ER, like a burst every rotation build usually would be at 105 ER versus 110, 115 ER, it should be the same. So I don't see it. Is it here? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Okay. This is the actual build I wanted to save. I can actually delete this one, I think. Manage build. Can I delete this? Oh, there we go. Delete. All right. And then we can manage build, save, Inefa, sauce. So, yeah, like, the fact that EM, like, the fact that right, this is a leaderboard with deathmatch, right? Which is not, so this leaderboard does not this leaderboard basically is ranking me as if I have about 80. What is deathmatch is 36.8% crit rate. Yeah, so I have 7%. I have 88% crit rate on this leaderboard. Crit rate for very high ranking on leaderboards. So this is like as far as like because leaderboard is spreadsheeting, right? I do think like keep in mind like Inefa's hitting every 2 seconds, for example, for her main source of damage. And if you do like across like an 18-second rotation, so she's hitting a total of 9 times, what is the chance that one of those 9 hits don't crit with 95% crit rate? It's not very high. Like, I don't actually think you need to push towards 100% crit rate on a character like Inefa. Some characters it is more relevant. The more instances of hits that you do in a character kit, the more their damage in practice functionally does directly scale kind of with crit rate. But the less total hits they have, the more you can technically actually just optimize your gameplay around a little bit of crit RNG, is what I would say. And in particular, like Inefa, while she is a very significant contributor of team damage, is not usually the only contributor of team damage. And therefore, it's also not as important to like crazy min-max her build per se. But it is still relevant because of how freaking strong Inefa is. Yeah, you can rename a build as long as you're logged in. So, is there an amount of money for which you would delete your Inefa artifacts? Ask me again after Nicole happens, Shiro. If someone like paid me, what would be the monetary value? I don't know. Like the problem is Genshin is my job, and like this is an artifact that lets me have more fun doing my job and doing the things I want to make videos on, right? Would I put EM on Build Hunter for lunar damage? No. Like you want attack. Her talent damage is gonna do more on attack. Like there's a reason. Like right, this is a deathmatch leaderboard, right? There's a reason on the deathmatch leaderboard, the same ass build with a worse stat value timepiece on attack percent is rank 5 versus rank 109. But my point with this is the fact that EM timepiece is ideal with Staff of Scarlet Sands, and not only that, because of Staff of Scarlet Sands giving extra crit rate that pushes me towards basically 100% crit rate, means that the perfect timepiece doesn't even necessarily need crit rate like this. Like this is the freaking perfect timepiece for Staff of Scarlet Sands. Like yes, it could have a crit rate roll and then I'd have 100% crit rate. The theoretical ideal would be this timepiece with crit rate instead of flat HP, and then or HP percent, and then this circlet rolling 25% attack and having EM. And then it would be very number one and like never beatable if there was a Staff of Scarlet Sands leaderboard. It might even, in that case, it might even be number one without with the deathmatch leaderboard actually. But like the fact that this is actually being ranked as an 88% crit rate build because of deathmatch, and not as a Staff of Scarlet Sands build, and EM has lower value, should show you how stupid this build is. Like, here, let's just like, can we go to? Also, actually, you can see substat priority, and you can see what like EM does. And you can see how EM gives me the lowest value versus attack percent, crit rate, crit damage. But this would and it like yeah, EM is giving similar value as flat attack, for a deathmatch build, specifically, and but it gives significantly more value with Staff of Scarlet Sands. And that just like it's significant, that it significantly changes, right? And EM main stat is just the equivalent of having a bunch of the substats, right? Like it's just significantly worse than attack. It's literally attack percent rolls have double the value of EM rolls at a baseline. That's why that much worse roll value attack timepiece is almost gets me a number one build, right? But I am like 99% confident if there was a Staff of Scarlet Sands leaderboard, I would have number one, and I think by a not insignificant margin. That's how stupid this onset goblet was for me, and like yeah, how good of a good an off piece this is. The feather is really good. The timepiece is bonkers for a Staff of Scarlet Sands build. This is obviously ridiculous, and then the circlet is sad, but like. The circlet can be rerolled. This is a 4-line circlet. If I reroll this, the ideal right now with my build as it currently is, the ideal for me on my actual account would be rerolling this and it rerolling like one more time at a crit rate. So it has like about 10 crit rate, which would put me at about 100% crit rate. And then, and then the rest of the rolls ideally just go all into attack percent. So like theoretically, and this did start with min roll if I recall, but theoretically this could be like a, what is it, 4 attack percent? It could be like an over 20% attack with 10% crit rate. Or sorry, well, that would have to be high rolls. Like the best case scenario is like 10 crit rate, 20% attack. That probably won't happen. I could probably get number one without that happening. But anyways, I really want there to be a Staff of Scarlet Sands leaderboard because like I would like to see how far ahead I am. But can we go? I haven't used Akasha in a while. Can we go to the actual leaderboards and see Mm-hmm. Can we see if there is like any other EM timepiece builds? How are we gonna find these? That's actually kind of annoying because you often have EM substats, right? Actually, never mind. I no longer care to try to find this. I assume if I see like a 300 EM build, it would be that, but like that's not EM timepiece. Yeah, these are all just EM substats. Yeah. Like, I'd be surprised if there was a build that ranked as high as my Staff of Scarlet Sands build does with a DM timepiece. No. $241, is that? Nope. It's a ridiculous feather. I'm just looking at like anything that's over like 200. Could be an EM timepiece build in theory. Wait, no, it can't because no. It has to be EM timepiece would have to be 260 at a baseline because the set gives EM. Duh. Oh, there's a filter. Oh, okay. Zbuy will get. Sorry, we'll do that in a second. Where to filter? Oh, there we go. We can sort by EM. Let's go. That just sorted by highest EM. That's not what I wanted. I just wanted EM mains. No. That is not. Oh my god. Now it's. How do I get rid of the fucking filter now? I now I'm just filtering by. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So we just need to see if we spot. Let me know if I miss it. Let me. Do we spot anything over 260 EM? I believe would be a 267 specifically. Where it says no filters. Oh, right here. Okay. Sands. There we go. Okay, cool. EM. Yeah. Like look at this. The highest ranking other EM Sands build is rank 400. My EM Sands build is freaking 100. That's ridiculous. Oh wow, it's me. Wait, is it? Oh, okay, you're trolling. Check EM Goblet 2. I guess that's true. We should check EM Goblet 2. Oh, there's a rank 333 EM Goblet build. This is just like overall good average stat value. Yeah. So also this is a 120 ER leaderboard, I think, because there's a 120 ER leaderboard. Obviously, your things are going to rank a little bit differently depending on ER. I assume this is 120. Yeah. This is rank. Oh no, sorry, it's rank 42 on 120. It's rank 300 on the 100 ER leaderboard. Yeah, because I clicked on the 100 ER leaderboard. Duh. Yep. Also, look, they're also using Staff of Scarlet Sands. Another person that wants a Staff of Scarlet Sands leaderboard. Opal agrees with me. Opal also wants Staff of Scarlet Sands leaderboard. Actually, I would be competing with Opal on whether or not we'd have the better Staff of Scarlet Sands build, but I'm pretty sure I'm better. No offense, Opal. But I do have a Staff of Scarlet Sands build. If I do need to hit 100% crit rate, I believe I would have more EM than this. I would have 99% crit rate and 220 crit damage if I recall. So I'm pretty sure I would have a significantly better Staff of Scarlet Sands build than them. But anyways, also just to make things extra unrelatable for people, just in case, because like if you're not used to like, you know, balancing builds around having high crit stat sticks, you know, this looks, part of why this is unrelatable is because I have a high crit stat stick. But let's put a non-crit weapon on her, right? And then you're gonna really understand. Like, what the like what the like, this is a fucking fab build, bruh. Scarlet makes building her really annoying. Yeah, I know, right? That's part of why I think I have the perfect. Oh, sorry, Sorry, I didn't. I swapped. If it's a fab build, it should do the attack timepiece. My bad. There we go. It's still WTF, to be clear. That's basically the same CV, just actually better balanced. Like, look at this fab build. It's bonkers. I should actually save the fab build on Akasha too, now that I think about it. Because sometimes fab will just make sense on her. Fab is fab. So, yeah. Anyways, like, this is ridiculous. But anyways, I'm not kidding in that, like, I think what was my Staff of Scarlet Sands build before? I didn't save it. Shoot. Here, as another point of comparison. My build before, I believe, was... It was still really good, to be clear. But I had to use this, so it means I have a worse Columbina build. And then... I mean, okay, so if I do an attack goblet, it would be this. Which is like... Wait, what the fuck happened? Oh, I didn't put her back on Staff of Scarlet Sands. I was like, what? What happened? Like, this is still obviously extremely good, to be clear. Like, it wasn't... It's not necessarily that incredible of an upgrade, per se, on that level. But, again, like, the impact is it allows me to have a little bit better substat quality. Like, this is significantly less attack percent and less EM substats. While getting a little bit more crit, is what it functionally let me do, and it let me free up an artifact to have an improved Columbina build, right? Which is pretty significant. And then, I was using an EM goblet instead of this as well, which is a tiny bit more crit damage. So, same difference, basically. Anyways, oh shoot, frick. Oh, there it is. Why does that fab build look better than a crit weapon build? I know, that's the true stupidity. Like, that's the true stupidity of a 50 CV, and that's why I think a lot of like lower investment players dream a bit more, is because yes, with like non 5-star weapon builds, having really high CV artifacts can matter a lot more. You know, it might give it even dumber if we put Skyward Spine on, right? Like Skyward Spine, and go back to the crit rate circlet. Whatever, just keep that on. I think it'll be fine. Yeah, 85, 190 with 140 ER. Should we try this build quick actually with Dia? I think I can burst every rotation with this build with Dia. We should try it. So, indeed, I do have crazy Albade pieces at this point. What a world. So yeah. Anyways, this has now been a successful distraction to make me kind of stop caring about Zibai. Because I'm like, nope. Must min-max in Nevermore. And Columbia. Have you ever left the domain? Not really since the patch started, no. And Stygian, which is the same thing as domain. Nope. Nope. I threw away a onset goblet for Chiori the other day, so now I need to find a offset piece to replace it, or sorry, an onset piece to replace it. Ideally a circlet. And crit rate or crit damage would be fine. Ideally crit damage though. Yeah, frick that piece. Am I ever gonna need that? It's 4-line ER. On principle, I should lock it. In practice, I don't think I need that. Alright. C0 Chiori do on-field DPS? Yeah. She can indeed. Let's not forget to claim my things. Alright, so first, for funsies, we'll just do an Abyss run. We can go back to the Staff of Scarlet Sands build if we play the Raiden team, but I think like the Staff of Scarlet Sands build can work with Dia, to be clear. I just definitely prefer bursting every rotation with the Dia team. So, is Ino equipped? Let's double check. Nope. That's why we check. What are you missing? Just a feather. All right. 284 ER, 60 crit rate. Let's go. Fav. Ideal I know build. Yay. I still am really tempted to risk the 50-50 on her, but man, the resources though now. Oh wait, someone did a review or requested a review for Columbina. Or Columbina, sorry. Zibai. Sorry, Edu, are you still here? Hopefully you're still here. Struggled to determine a team. I know kind of stuck to my never. Thanks for input. C1 is accidental double. Oh boy. I mean, do you have, if you don't have Columbina, or if you have Nefer and you have to put Ina with Nefer and you didn't get Columbina, that does put you in a little bit of an Oxford situation, doesn't it? Ignore the level, by the way. I'm broke. I'll do it. That's what my Zibai would look like too. Harbinger of Dawn, nice. Okay. So one, you're going to, if you don't have Columbina and Ino is stuck to Nefer, you are going to, I've only got C4. You're going to want to, you don't need C4 to be clear, but it's a quite nice to have. Anyways, for Stygian at least, but maybe you're not doing much in Stygian, that's fine. Although actually you are clearing Fearless. Sorry. I like they don't have artifacts. Sorry, just weird. You're gonna want to play her with Eat Lua, and then you could use other off-field hydros, right? So you do have C6 dog. So you could do Eat Lua. I love it. C1 and C1 Eat Lua. C1 Eat Lua. Yeah, great. Thanks. Thank you, Hoyovers. Sorry. Goro and instructors, Ilua and 2-piece, and then an off-field hydro on 4-piece Serenade. I believe a Serenade build on Saint-Cho would work fine. You don't need to burst every rotation. In fact, you shouldn't. It's the same as Goro. You would want to do 18-second rotations and burst every other rotation on these characters. The rotations you don't burst on Saint-Cho, though, would require you hugging characters a little bit more to make sure the rain swords hit the enemy. So 150 pulls, 2 Eat Luas, yeah. Yay for 4 stars. I might just release a dedicated video. Right now I'm thinking of it like an easy video for the weekend, on top of the other video I have planned to come out, as like just a video titled Eat Lua, period, and then it's just gonna be an Eat Lua rant. And I'll probably use Sylveon's account to like showcase, here's a max investment fun DPS Eat Lua, get big number, quick swap to someone else. In Sylveon's case it'd be Navia. In a different account you could do that with like, or sorry, in Sylveon's account it'd be Shalona. In a different account you could do like Navia or whatever, or Zibai in theory. You could technically min-max Eat Lua to get satisfying nuke damage and whatever, and that would be the point of the showcase. Be like, yeah, you can still do something fun with him if you like him, but at the same time, man, he had so much damn potential, and that might be. And then I can yap about Lunar Crystallize in general too, for the people that were waiting for me to make a video dedicated to Lunar Crystallize, because I don't know, there's not much to say about Lunar Crystallize past what I already made a video on in like the Columbina video, and it's not that worth making a dedicated video. I would absolutely make a dedicated video if Eat Lua could buff the actual reaction itself, but he can't. So anyways, we'll see. I might do that, might not. They wasted such a pretty design. Yeah. God, he's like, I don't think it would make him broken either. Like, to be clear, it would make like Noel, Ningguang, whatever, maybe uncomfortably close for whoever's to like a lower investment Z-buy, not a high investment Z-buy. And maybe that's what they didn't want. Because if the 4-star uplifted old Geo units more than it uplifted, or equivalent to how it uplifts the new Geo unit, then it would give reason for people not to pull the 5-star. But like, you have to pull the fucking banner anyways for him. So like why does that matter? Why do they? Why? No. Save the rant for if I make a video. Anyways, would something change with C2 Z-buy? C2 Z-buy? When in lunar shift mode, all nearby party members lunar. Okay, so just damage increase. Talent is enhanced. Oh, that makes her N4. Oh, so her combo becomes more boring with it, because I assume this means you just spam and you do her slower combo where you do N4E, N4E, N4E kind of thing. further increased by, isn't it like baseline scaling? So yeah, I assume C2 is a significant damage upgrade, but her like fast front loaded combo doing N4 N4 EE N1 E QE only does 2 N4s, which makes her C2 worse. But I think her C2 is good enough that you just don't do that combo. But I think it would make her more boring to play, in my opinion. So I don't know. The value of C2 Eat Lua, to be clear, is putting Serenade on him. And in your case, that's not that big a deal because you don't have Columbina. Like, I think the reason to care about C2 Eat Lua is to give build flexibility for other characters. Being that you don't have Columbina, you don't need to min-max your Hydro unit's damage, right? But like the theoretical ideal, if you're doing, say, Goro, Columbina, and Eat Lua, is Eat Lua on Serenade if he's C2, Goro and Instructors, you burst every other rotation on him, and then Columbina on Albade, and you burst every other rotation on Columbina. Should be overall DPS positive, right? So in your case, I don't think it'd actually make that much of a difference. With like Xingqiu or another Hydro. So yeah. Anyways. Also, by the way, if you have Nilou and Key of Akasha Suit, you should probably consider using Nilou and Key of Akasha Suit instead. Then you can, because her 18-second skill cooldown should fit in with Zebai perfectly fine. And then you have a little water ring that follows you around, and Key of Akasha Suit gives an EM buff. Technically, Xingqiu can theoretically use it too, I think, but in a weird way. Alright, Dia. Is that the right side? No. And then, what do we want to do in the first side? Something simple. I guess we just Lanyan. Yeah, we just Lanyan. Hello, kitten. Oh, yeah. This is also spreadsheet analysis. The Varka shield boss. I think Jean will have a strategy against it, but it will be very clunky. But I could be wrong. I'm not an expert using Jean in the spreadsheet. And then I think other than that, it shills Kazuha. You wonderful creature. Look who just joined me at my lap. The King Didi has joined my lap for this wonderful Abyss run. I think... Oops, I'm zoomed in. It's funny how you're so much large. Like, he's not overweight. I don't think he's chonky, but he's not overweight. But he is just so much larger than Ashru. It's ridiculous. So like when one cat goes on my lap and the other one. Anyways, what was it saying? Oh, Varka shield boss. I think it shills Venti and Kazuha more than it shills like. Anyway, whatever. It's fine. To be clear, maybe Varga is needed at dire difficulty. I don't know. But it's fucking dire difficulty. Who the hell cares? And at not dire difficulty, I know Varga is definitely not like particularly needed there. Kazuha's coming out of retirement. Sacksword Kazuha at least. The publicly available information you can know for yourself. Wait, did the camera just stop working on its own? Was that not working the whole time? I didn't actually check.
Each day is a new page in my
but yeah,
story.
when Ashru goes into my lap, by the way, Ashru like fits under the, like he'll flop down on my lap and he fits under. He'll usually like stick his head under the desk here. Meanwhile, this boy, and like that isn't weight. OMG thumbs. Yeah, he has thumbs. Oops. That was cat ear, not my hand. Yeah, he do have thumbs. But yeah, Ashru can literally fit under the desk here properly, and this creature barely fits in my lap because I'm not particularly sizable myself. Anyways, real 50 CV, true. This kitten is the real 50 CV. I would throw away the goblet to save Didi. If they were both if the goblet was hanging off of a cliff and Didi was hanging off of a cliff, I don't know how the goblet got there. Hair reveal? Yeah. Hair that was not particularly... I need to go... Yeah, whatever. Anyways. Squinty eyes. Yeah, that's what he always looks like. No, it's a joke. Anyways, let's do it at this front. Sorry. Do.
Dancing in the wind.
You want to fly in the air for me? Yeah, do it. Aha! Yeah, dodge that is my promise. Okay, do your phase transition. Let's do this. What one are you? Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. I should have bursted. Because Lanian targets the ones that can't take damage, so. Did that unoptimally. That could have been pretty fast, but I kind of bungled by not bursting. That's fine. Get energy in the next rotation, or next chamber. Alright. Let's see how this is. So this is the Skyward Spine build. In Abyss here, I don't think I'll notice anything, to be clear. At least I would be surprised if I did. Stop pushing them outside. Alright. Gloves off. That was not ideal positioning wise. Hello, crap. Did I get my burst back? I think I did? Yeah, I did, okay. I couldn't tell because King Dedede went on the desk, so I didn't have my... Okay, nice, good timing. Didn't have information on my screen. Hello, stop going in the air. That's fine, you did fall damage. Okay. Oh, I should have positioned better. Where are you? Oh, wait. Oh, there you are. You are there. Ah, my bad. Okay. By the way, a little known fact, you actually can control Dia's targeting pretty well. Anyways. You make Lanian look so strong. I mean, she has the best stuff on my account. I have put the most into her. I pull C2 Durin for her. To be clear, I would not be clearing that much worse. Like... If we put Venti in place of Farazan, or actually, okay, quite frankly, I think many players will end up wanting, in most contexts, not every context, like the new Stygian boss will really incentivize grouping to a level that I think you put in a grouper like Venti or Kazuha, even Jean, instead of Lanian. Because Lanian doesn't really... She does a little bit of grouping, but not enough. But most players on a generic level will probably prefer Lanian as the Animo slot for Varka's premium team, in my opinion. If that will tell you anything. And that means a lot of like calc assumptions that are assuming people will always be playing Venti or Aoife. Aoife because scroll bonus. Like, Lanian can give TTDS, but doesn't give scroll, right? But Lanian gives a shield. Most people are gonna want the shield. Also, if you build Lanian for damage, you know, it can help with some Varka problems too. Anyways, so Varka in place of Farazan here, I would say. If Lanian was just on a normal low power support build, my prediction would clear a similar time, if not worse. Theoretically better because I have C2 Durin, but not that much better. So, yeah. Compared to my Lanian, to be clear. My maximized investment Lanian, which is not what most people's experience with Lanian. Most people should have a better experience with Durin, with... Oh, great, this is the way out chamber, isn't it? I did not plan around that. Whoopsies. No, here, let me do a proper rotation around this. But yes, a fully min-max Lanian basically can perform better than what most people will experience. better than what most players would experience with Varka. And like, for what it's worth, the story here is kind of like, okay, yeah, you could play Varka with Durin, or you could pull a Durin Constellation to make Lanyan better, kind of thing. Like, it's not that different 5-star investment wise, quite frankly. Especially if you factor in probably wanting Varka's signature weapon. Like, Varka Sig plus Varka in this team is equivalent 5-star investment as Durin C2 is. So, like, if we're measuring just total 5 stars, which isn't the whole story in my opinion. You think artifact rolls are predetermined? I mean, the answer is functionally no, Super Flash. They're not predetermined. But in reality, if we're actually going to understand the nuance of how computer systems roll randomly generated numbers, there is probably some sort of seeding system MiHoYo uses on their server end. But because it's on their server end users and players have zero control over the seeding system, that there's no real RNG manipulation. So if you think RNG manipulation is real, it's not, because we don't have access to the information that would make RNG manipulation real, unless we manage to somehow reverse, like, it's theoretically doable if we manage to reverse how like the system works. Like, if we somehow manage to reverse engineer the seed. It's very unlikely that is possible, because Hoyoverse, with they're a gotcha company. They are actively incentivized to keep their systems as properly random according to what the rates are supposed to be, as they should, to the degree that it wouldn't also surprise me if they actually implemented things on their end on truly random levels. Like, you can see in like the cryptography space, where a company like Cloudflare, they mostly do this as marketing, but they do use it, where they will, like, I think the most popular one you might see floating around is they use a wall of lava lamps as an example to randomly generate numbers, because that movement is inherently chaotic enough in the real world that you can generate random numbers off of that are truly random. If it's entirely computer-based, technically it is not truly random. So technically, if they are not basing if Hoyoverse does not determine RNG rolls on anything, that includes artifacts, on something that is based in like physics, chaos, and reality, then they technically are predetermined. Fucking technically. But they're predetermined in a way that doesn't actually matter. They are still random. They are functionally random. Anyways. Any team comps for which is really easy to farm artifacts? New characters. Quite frankly, because new characters, new main DPSs. Zibai is pretty easy to farm for, right? You put Zibai, you farm, you get overworld instructors artifacts here. Easiest team in the game to build. Goro can be level 20 or level 40. Itlua, you want to level up a little bit. Aino can stay level 40. Aino, you put on 4-piece Serenade. Goro, you put on Itlua, you put on whatever smattering of 2-piece EM artifacts you have. There's a lot of them now, and you can get 2-piece EM from both of the new artifact domains. And you can get instructor artifacts from the newest artifact domain that also gives you 2-piece EM that you can put on Goro. And he doesn't need any particular stats other than like a crit rate main stat kind of thing, ideally to trigger Fav. I know, same story. Crit rate main stat to trigger Fav, otherwise just all the ER substats. So like I know's a little bit annoying to build because she wants all the ER. But like 4-piece Serenade, ER substats, I know, Fab build, crit rate, 2-piece EM. If you have C1, he should be pretty easy to not have to stress about ER substats that much. But ER substats would be nice, and that he might be the hardest character to build in some level. And then Zibai has the DPS set and Harbinger of Dawn, although, well, okay, playing this specific team with Harbinger of Dawn is a little risky, but you get the point, right? You get a lot of free crit, you get a lot of the stats you need for free, that like getting to the baseline level of performance, ignoring the minor difficulty of like, you know, I think it's major difficulty for some people, of needing to like stay above 90% HP in this team because you only have shitty Goro C4 healing, would be very easy to build. So that's my point with newer characters. Like, it's just like they're not as hard to build as people make it. Teams are not that hard to build for newer characters as sometimes people make it out to be. because I think people are bad at prioritizing the right kinds of artifacts. Like, people throw away artifacts that are 4-line pieces that have ER with defense percent main stat that could be a perfect Ino piece. Because they're like, oh, I need Hydro Goblet on Ino, because she's a Hydro character. No, her damage does not matter enough in any way that you care about that. You care about ER. Because if you don't burst on her, you're sad. Anyways. Right. So, we need to do this, 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 and then we're doing one skill. Well, no, sorry, 2 skills. We do this. Okay, this was not ideal. We actually killed it too fast. Yeah. Nope, we killed it too fast. I am going to do 1 skill on Lanyan, not 2 skills, because killing it too fast is bad. This is how way up optimization goes. You might not like it. I think it's actually cool. Okay, Bennett. 1 skill. Okay. Arguably, I should maybe just wait for the... Or not use Lanyan at all. I could just use Farazan technically. Part of the benefit of building her for damage here. Alright, there we go. Bap. Oh, frick. No, I killed it too fast again. Okay. No skills on Lanyan. This is why you build Farazan for damage. I mean, there's a million reasons you build Farazan for damage, but... No. Wretched dastard. We are purposely going slow here, because we want to kill this and transition to the next phase. Bam, bam, we do this, this. Ah, frick. I bungled the timing a little bit. It's fine. It's dead. Oh, frick. We killed it too fast again. Okay, we're not going to have fire numbers. Got that off, though. No. Okay. Okay. This is not ideal at all. I've definitely cleared that a lot faster, but you get the point. Alright. Oh, I guess we are forgoing burst this rotation. That's fine. Funnel to you. Do this. I didn't trigger that. Right. Oh, you're over here. I'm a dumbass. Alright. Bam. Okay, can I... No, no. Okay, there we go. A little bit slow. I kind of didn't line this up properly at all. Probably should have refreshed up this there, but... Like, I could probably have it dead as it's... Like, before. If I lined up properly, I could probably have this dead before it actually gets up, but... Yeah, we'll just do this. Yay. Wow. I've had a 45.8 CV defense emblem goblet since version 2.2 that I never had anyone to use on until Z-Buy now. Nice. I mean, on it, yeah, I have a really good defense percent goblet. Not 45, but it's 40 CV with an ER roll. That is very good that I've had from the Vermilion artifact set for a long while. I think it was from the, like, strong box, or not the strong box. It was from the, I never really farmed that domain, I don't think. Maybe I did a tiny little bit, and it was from the domain, but I'm pretty sure it was from the like artifact boxes you get from from Abyss. So, Alicia, your DPS Beanavid has over 500,000 views. That is so Yomi Hull, the partner agency, recently since last patch offered to. This has always been a thing they said they would potentially do, but they never offered to me over the years. And I never asked for it because I didn't see any value in it, and I still don't see any value in it. They offer to promote the videos because YouTube has an inbuilt feature where you can go and like use YouTube's inbuilt advertising system to advertise your own videos, but it costs money. Like, you're paying for advertising, and it seems that YouTube counts those impressions as views when they probably shouldn't be.
and from YouTube's end, they're saying that like, oh, it only counts as views if they are actual views, the people that actually watch it. Bullshit, because I can tell they're not real views because they don't actually increase engagement on the video. I don't see a meaningful uplift in comments. I don't see a meaningful uplift in subscribers from it. So like the actual views in that video, I don't know. And what's stupid, like I asked them how many impressions they're going to pay for so I can like actually have an expectation of it. And they said they paid for like 50 to 80,000 impressions. And then like it had like clearly it got like, I should check what the actual views probably are. Let me check quick. I don't know exactly what the real views are, to be clear. It's hard to tell because yeah, there we go. It's hard to tell because
so much to learn about human interactions.
it's just tricksy, but I know when the advertising started. I think the video performed well, to be clear. But I'm pretty sure it was like 50 to 80,000. It was the real views. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that this has 10 times the views it actually functionally has. And now the impressions stopped. Here, I'll just show it to you. I can just show the revenue for it. And my revenue would be much higher if this was actually real views too, like people watching a good portion of the video. I'm willing to be fully transparent. And to be clear, I would tell them to stop doing this, but I will tell you why I'm going to tell them to not. I'm letting them do this. It's because it turns into free money in a way you would not expect. Because it's really stupid. It's really stupid. I don't understand why they want to do this. I think this just has to do with like the freaking weirdness of like the modern like ecosystem where like, so Yomiholic is partnered by Hoyoverse. Hoyoverse pays Yomiholic to partner with like creators to be like literally the agreement I have with them is like, hey, if you make Genshin videos, we'll give you more money for relative to the views you get. And they have like basically no other requirements than that, and they've been overall beneficial to me because like they're also my contact with Hoyoverse, my third-party contact with Hoyoverse, that has allowed me to like do sponsored videos, right? Like I wouldn't have had a connection to them as easier. So yes, the views are not fake, but they are like ad views. And I think YouTube shows them as real views because the person that pays for these wants to feel like they paid for something and got something out of it, and so they want to see the number be higher. But like this number doesn't actually do anything. It's actually literally just pointless. It's kind of my point here. But it's not technically pointless for me in the stupidest fucking way. There we go. Here it is. No, that's the fucking chat again. That's the turtle. There it is. So you can see it says like a shit ton of views. So here, there's actually something a little bit weird here. So I don't actually know. So if the ad impressions started here or started like here, because there was an uplift right here, but then suddenly like there's a pretty linear uplift from like this point. Whereas this initial curve, if we zoom in to like this particular point right here, this is like a more natural uplift curve. And in fact, that makes me think actually maybe the advertising causes a negative effect here. There's a chance of that, and that's one thing I'm worried about potentially. But anyways, so like Yomiholic requires very little of me, and I let them do this. I would tell them not to because it's annoying on a level of trying to figure out how many actual people my videos reach, but it's not that hard for me on my end to actually see that information. Like I know somewhere in this range, like this was a good performing video, right? And like I'm very happy with it. If it was anywhere in the neighborhood of the 50 to 100,000 real views. I don't like it on a level of like what it is perceived from your guys' end, from a public perception thing. And yeah, as far as advertisers do this to present the higher numbers to a contractor. Exactly, right? Like I think Yomiholic wants to do this because they can present to Hoyoverse, look what our program is doing. It's getting big numbers. So everyone in the corporate offices is like, look, we're doing well. Look at the numbers, numbers be high. But then like, you know, the actual increase in viewership or the watch time that it has relative to Like it's 1.3K more than usual watch time, but I think that's because of like the baseline video performed really well, not like whatever. But anyways, the reason I partner with Yomi Holic is this is not that much money, right? For one video. Like this is why people do sponsorships. This is why like if I made one video a week and only ad revenue is what I was relying on, I wouldn't be making that much money. To be clear, it's not necessarily as bad as it looks, because remember, I'm also making ad revenue on all my old videos. That's actually where like probably I would say almost half of my ad revenue comes from on some months. Probably why I should make more like content that's less like time specific, like the account fixing stuff again. I think the account fixing videos have like slowly accrued a lot of ad revenue for me, which is cool. But anyways, my Yomi Holic agreement pays me, there's a cap on it, but they pay me more based on the views that my videos had in the last month, right? Like the same way like ad revenue gives me an amount of money based on CPM, like how many thousand, like per 1,000 views I get this much money. My agreement with Yomi Holic is the same thing, capped at I believe a couple thousand per month. I believe this video alone, because of the fact that they paid for the views, will cap the money that they will pay to me. So what's happening is I think they paid for views, they paid for advertising impressions, which aren't really real engagement, but that they can present to corporate contractors. And then I let them do this because other than the annoyance of like how it's confusing to viewers, and it's annoying that it looks like the video is performing better, when it's not actually that, like it's a good performing video, but not that good. It's basically just free money for me. Like, I don't know, like, I'm sorry. Like, should I turn down free money? And this is one of those things that like, if they continue doing this with reliability, this alone that they're doing pays for an editor. Like, I'm kind of waiting things out a little bit to see. I'm worried about a couple things that I gotta make sure, but like I'm trying to plan things with both the amount of money I make to like, yeah. So anyways, and yeah, some there then, and theoretically some people will see the ad and actually become new viewers as well. So full transparency, the views are not fake, but they're not normal views, essentially is what they are. They're ad views, and they are way inflated because YouTube inflates them. And the thing that confuses me the most is like the fact that they outright told me when I asked them that they paid for like 50 to 80,000 impressions, like when they go and do the feature in YouTube. So like the feature's on the main page, for example. Actually, okay, just make sure I don't show something like a stream key by accident. Actually, I don't know where it is. It's buried somewhere. I haven't used it myself, obviously. I don't know. There's a, anyways. There is a feature where you can like go and like directly in my like YouTube dashboard where I can go like advertise my own video. That's basically what they're using, and technically anyone can pay to advertise any specific YouTube video. You could do it if you wanted to. You could go and copy my URL and advertise it yourself. And YouTube will give you like a price range for, oh, you pay for this many 50,000 to 80,000 impressions, it costs this many dollars. I don't know exactly how much it costs, but it costs this many dollars. But then clearly I've gotten many more than 50 to 80,000 impressions. So like, I don't know, whatever. Like, and for me, that literally may be like Yomi Holic chose to, they chose to be like, okay, we're gonna boost this video. Like, okay, sure, why not? It's probably not a negative thing other than it just looks weird. And then I get more money at the end of the month as well from them. So, which allows me to more freely just make the content I want to make and hopefully get an editor soon, TM. Anyways, Jay's turn has no shame to take every sponsorship. I don't know if he takes every sponsorship, to be clear. I think he's just doing the gacha creator thing where like the main sponsorship that we can get that pays money is the top-up services. And the top-up services, while they seem a little bit weird, their business practice makes sense once you understand a number of things, and I don't feel like yapping about it yet again. Anyways, I'm sponsored by LD Shop. I like them. I use them. Whatever. Anyways. Bye.
We'll see about that.
Give me energy.
The story has only just
Yeah. Please have. Hello. Okay, that's a little not ideal. Damn.
Hey, yeah, swift
Um,
swallow. Help 'em fly. Up and away.
Also, by the way, this is... Well, no, I shouldn't say this. Never mind. I was gonna say a thing related to spreadsheets, and... Wait, no. No, sorry, this is the local legend, isn't it? So Lodian applies a bunch of pyro really fast from her skill on the new local legend dog thing that creates like a cryo shield, I think. Sorry, my brain is like autopiloting when I'm yapping.
Have fun with this gift. Everybody stand.
I think Lanyan might do, and like I think that boss is meant to shill Varka in Abyss.
Dancing in the wind.
And I think Lanyan does better at breaking its shield than Varka does. Anyways. The wolf, yeah. Right, it creates a cryo shield, right? I recall. Like, I think that was intended to be good with Varka. Because Varka, you can do Pyro Infusion, then smack on him, and then you break its shield. But Lanyan can break its shield faster. So, to be clear, you can put Lanyan in a Varka team, again. And I think for a generic context, with an enemy like that local legend that will be attacking you constantly, other than when it's down, like you use Lanyan with a Pyro Infusion to break its shield super quickly, and then you smack on Varka while it's in its down phase. It's probably ideal. Like, Lanyan is probably an ideal last slot teammate against that specific enemy. So, I have no energy again, but that's fine for this phase. And we will do this once. A little bit of a slow start, but whatever.
Accelerating.
Alright. And... do. I probably should have refreshed Nefa. She's still active? I think yeah, she's still active. Okay, cool. Alright. Now I love that I know has such short cooldowns. Like, she actually genuinely just is able to adapt to things so well. Whatever. But no, Aino's a bad game. Let's do this. Anyways, this was definitely not a very optimized run. So the story here is that 50 CV, ridiculously cracked Nefa build don't matter relative to gameplay optimization, I'll tell you that, because I've definitely cleared with those same exact teams with a worse Nefa build faster. But anyways, that was mostly brain off. I never get why people say Aino's awful, because they watch Zajef, and Zajef refuses to fucking actually give her a shot because Zajef decided that that was a stance he was going to take, and Zajef is all the problems wrong with Genshin Impact's meta. Sorry. Anyways, I'm joking. That he's not. He actually does play around with like doing a lot of fun things. That's why it kind of pisses me off when he does shit like saying Aino is a bad character. And he understands that like you don't need to always play a character's best team, but then he's obsessed with only like playing a character's best team if he has it available. And because of the fact that Columbina was obviously meant for non-cry teams to be better than Aino, he's like, Aino is a bad character. That's why he thinks that, quite frankly, in my opinion. And it kind of pisses me off. So, anyways, to be clear, I like the dude. I think he does overall positive things. I think his work is important for the community. Numbers running is important. I just really, really disagree with some of the lines he's drawn lately in particular. And I think it goes against what the goal of theory crafting should usually be, which is the goal of theory crafting should be helping people get the most out of their characters, and depending on what the state of their account is like, and pushing the limits of what they can do with what you have. And Aino can actually be a character that can enable a lot of options for people. So my issue with Aino is that Xingqiu gets comfier clears on Nefer. I mean, that doesn't surprise me that much if you burst every other rotation with him, yeah. So, anyways. And like, I don't know, as a free character, I think she's great. And then with Constellations, it fixes her minor, like, issues that she has, I would say. I genuinely prefer her. Like, again, like, as far as, like, when you don't need extra damage, I far prefer Ino over Columbina or Farina, which both make the team do more damage with Dia and Effa. Like, Dia and Effa do more damage with Columbina. The team does more damage with Columbina. No shit. Or Farina. But most of the time, I don't need more damage in that team. Right? Like, I'm pretty sure I can clear Fearless with that team too, actually. And should we leave? Yeah, sure. I'll leave the. I'm not even gonna put her on her stupid broken Staff of Scarlet Sands build. We're gonna keep the Scarlet or the Skyward Spine build. Use the same team. Configure the same way. I'm pretty sure I can't clear Dire because Dire is like, if you try to clear Dire without having an additional form of a ton of like electro damage or a ton of lunar charge damage on this dude. Like, I can clear Dire with this team because Columbina lunar charge damage plus a Nepha lunar charge damage plus Biden doing a little bit of damage and helping keep up things and refund energy is enough to easily clear Dire, right? But put Dia here instead, without Columbina, to be clear. Then no, it doesn't clear Dire, obviously. And my point though is, like, I'm not clearing Dire with Dia because of how this enemy's mechanics work, right? I'm not clearing Dire with Dia on the enemy. That's fine, right? And if I'm not clearing Dire with Dia, then I'm doing Fearless. And I can still enjoy the team at Fearless, right? But if I can clear Dire with Dia, with Ino, and I'm not saying this will be the case for everyone. I think most people's accounts, if you're trying to do it like a Fearless clear, most people's accounts, if you're trying to do a Fearless clear on this dude with this exact team, you probably do want to use Farina or Columbina. I think most people will find that because most people will not have it as invested a Dia build as I have, or as invested in an Nepha build at this point. Right. But the fact of the matter stands is that if I don't actually need the extra damage to clear the content, then the quality of life differences for how the team plays, like I know being on Fab, being able to easily be on Fab, have adaptability with her low cooldown and uptime on her burst, and adjustability for their being able to funnel particles and blah 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 blah, make her more enjoyable to play to me. And I get slightly bigger numbers on Ino than I do with I get slightly bigger damage numbers on Dia with Ino than I do with Columbina, because Columbina doesn't give any actual stat buff to Dia. Ino freaking does for some reason. They refuse. I can't believe they actually did that, but I still can't believe that. They chose to just, no, Columbina must not give any stat buff to non-credit characters. Anyways, whatever. Tignari, Bina, Lauma, and Fischl, I feel like you'd do better damage. Maybe I would, probably, I don't know. Like, I don't care. That's the Jeff-ass mentality, quite frankly. To be clear, I think Tignari is quite more usable nowadays with the varying Hydro options that can apply Hydro without normal attacks. That was a problem he had for a while for being utilized in Bloom content. But Lauma Bina with an Electro unit off field, yeah, will probably work well. Will it actually do better though than in Abyss, if you're talking? Here? No, it won't do better, but in Abyss, it might do better, yeah. Anyways, if I recall, I already did use this team before to clear Fearless, so I'm pretty sure this clears. But maybe I'm remembering wrong. Maybe I use Farina. I don't know. We'll see. I can't actually remember. And we'll if I don't clear with Ino with Skyward Spine, we'll see if the better Nepha build with Staff of Scarlet Sands clears before we use Farina. Am I dumb? Where? Oh wait, I am dumb. I can just use my preset. Oh, god damn it. It's a day one Ino defender because I thought she did a really good Hydra application. Yeah, she does good enough. She does good enough for most team formats to support them, because most team formats, most of the time nowadays, you don't need constant super high Hydra application. You just need Hydro. As long as it's happening off field, for the average player experience, you'll have a good enough time. And then you just need to build her to burst consistently. And like, yeah. So, anyways. Tignari is a Walmart version of Nefer. That's a funny way to describe him. A little insulting way to describe him. But realistically, like, Tignari, Kuki, Lauma, Bina is probably better than Fischl, because you actually want to do blooms and whatever. Well, maybe not, I guess, because you have... If you do blooms, then you're taking away some buff from Bina, potentially, maybe? I don't know. And you can... Because you're doing quick swap, right? You're doing on-field Bina plus Tignari. So, yeah, I don't know. That probably is better with on-field column Bina, DPSing quick swap with Tignari. Official. Anyways. Yes. We want theory crafting to be clear. That's why I said the Jeff's work is important. We want theory crafting that's trying to find the best teams possible in general. But we also need to find the best teams possible elsewise. And the fact that I know constantly shows up as a compelling option for various team contexts means she's a good fucking character. Anyways. Yeah, that's all. So, but instead Jeff's like, no, your only option is fucking I know. That's what he goes. It just, it's more a compliment to Tignari than an insult. It's kind of true. Alright, we'll see. So yeah, a big problem with this thing's shield, by the way, is you don't get vaporized damage on it. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, do this, do this, we do this. And we just kind of sit here. Yeah, Staff of Scarlet's Hands would be quite a bit better here. Preparing for Duck Duck. It does clear it, yeah. Okay, oh, that was a mistake. Let's do this, funnel bash, and do this. I know, that was really dumb, slow setup in my head. If I failed to clear, it's because I didn't properly do that. I really wasn't paying attention to things. Also, my freaking Hydro ended. I really bungled that, Jesus Christ. We should be under half HP at this point, for sure. No, you have to be kidding. Oh my god, and then I just got the burst back after I decided to skill. Oh my god, the amount of mistakes I'm making here is holy. We'll see if we recover it, maybe. Okay. Oh my god, I don't know if I could make more mistakes than this. Okay. Okay, great. And then oh my god.
Insulation chamber.
Figure that would just do a little bit of damage without interfering with things, probably. Oops, let's not forget to do this. I think we will do this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna fail this, but maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. No, we are. Okay, yeah, I really bungled the first bit. That was total skill issue on my part. Let's redo. DSC 0? Fuck no. This is a 3 years of investment, Dia. No, not willing. This is just, I planned and dedicated resources to it for 3 years. The build quality actually is not really that crazy relative to that amount of time. Like, I haven't farmed artifacts for 3 years. The artifacts were only like a few months. It's a good build, don't get me wrong. But the real investment is just collecting constellations over time and understanding minor nuances. Okay, this I think just makes sense to do. I think our Hydro might run out, but that's not the end of the world. It did not run out. Nice. Even better. Okay, a little bit slow there, but it's fine. Yeah, you can see. This is what I was talking about, where I bungled a lot there. Oops, right there. Okay, I guess we just do this. Wow. Okay, go back. Thank you. Okay. You can kind of actually purposely strafe around Dia, by the way, to push enemies back into like Ino burst range. You're probably gonna. We might be able to keep Sig running. Let's do this. This. Oh, damn it. Whatever. I'll let Dia finish.
Defensive mode engaged.
Drop your weapons.
Annihilation mode.
I bungled again. Yeah, okay. Darn. I probably should have just let it get a shield up sooner. Didn't line up. Even at C2, I find Tignari able to clear Abyss, no problem. Yeah. I mean, Abyss is still not that hard if you have some conjunction of newer units, generally speaking. It can be a lot harder, though. Like if you were not having Columbina or Llama there, for example. Yeah. Need to do a little bit better with energy to Dia throughout this, by the way, and to Nefa. I think Aneva doesn't quite have the ideal energy right now for this team, at least in a Stygian context. Wrap. Okay, the question here is, do I wait? I don't know. I do. Reverse MD, so I guess it works out. Just didn't take advantage of the low res phase for very long. It might make things sequence better. That 5 trigger. That was unlucky. Good. Okay. Yeah, definitely don't have ideal energy here. Oh, god damn it. See, I just shouldn't have funneled energy. I should just deal with bursting over their rotation here. And I prefer bursting over rotation on an FA in this team. But I don't need to. It's just upside. But against this enemy, it's not really that upside. To burst every other, or to burst every rotation. No, we're still not gonna get it. Okay, close though. No, I want to get it with this build. Because like I know I can. I'm stubborn. Zebai. All the Zebai reviews today. Time for Shadow, sure. Real quick though. Because I'm in the zone. I'm in the Dia zone, but also the Anefa zone. Am I blind? Shadow, let me know when you refresh your page, because, or when you update her. Am I blind or there's no Z-buy? There's no Z-buy. Okay, well, remind me in chat. Anyways, you really shouldn't play Overvape against this dude. It's not the ideal at all. Like, I could put Sucrose in here instead of Sucrose. Sucrose instead of Sucrose. I could have Sucrose instead of Shivers, and it would perform a lot better. Right? Like, because of how important just clearing the shield fast is, and the incentivization towards Electro in general. Blah, 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 blah. That was a little dumb, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. I didn't get Rhino Burst before. That's a little awkward. I think I recovered from shield, actually. It's bad. Your main before Dia and Lanion? Yai. I still play Yai fairly often, but not as often. Why did I wait that long to Aino? Should do Ineva into Aino. Not that complicated. There we go.
Defensive mode engaged.
Do this. Do this. Do this. Worth it. We didn't get vaporizers throughout the whole thing, but it's fine. Okay, we we'll get an effort burst here, so I'll just wait. Probably, no, I literally just learned last attempt I shouldn't be doing that. Here. Push him back. Okay. Not ideal. Missed a lot of vaporizers there.
Insulation chamber.
Please. I thought I was gonna get an energy burst in general there. I'm not learning my own lessons because I'm getting greedy because I'm like, oh, I just barely don't have my energy.
Preparing for dust down.
Alright, good.
Yeah, cleanup
Okay.
sequence initiate.
Make sure we refresh that. Okay.
Accept. Yeah, annihilation.
Do this. And I would clear with time to spare. There you go. Told you it just had to be played better. Told you it just had to be played better. It could have been a crit RNG difference to a minor degree too, but yeah, there you go. But there was enough time to spare that I don't think it was crit RNG difference. I think that was a how I played difference. And anyway, I guess for the sake of just showing things. One annoying as fuck thing about the new Inefa artifact set, I will say, I really, really am annoyed that it has an Ascendant Gleam requirement. Like, I would really like to just be able to throw this on Columbina throw it on Inefa and have Farina in the party, and I think I still will. Like, it's fine, but my preferred set on Inefa with Farina in the party is probably still Serenade on Inefa. Plus, it allows me to burst every rotation. But, anyways. So, this is my default to play with Dia if the team can clear. So, should I swap to defense main stat on my Zabai instead of crit damage? She's currently at 98, 315, and that's before Ilua and Goros combined 70% crit damage from their respective C6. She has nearly 400% crit damage. It's possible, yeah. It is possible. Like, there's not enough sources of death percent that with that much crit, you very well might find it's better. You can go to, like, just search like a Genshin damage calculator. The website I like to use. Let me grab the link for you. So this, make sure you like configure the enemy. Oops, that's the wrong one. It's this website. Oh, that I forgot I had that selected. It is this web. What? Work? Hello? Why? OBS, please. Why do you do this shit? Okay, well, I'll just drop the link for you. Anyways, use the damage calculator. Make sure you configure it properly. You can throw your own artifacts on there and put like a hypothetical death circlet and see what it looks like. Anyways, I'm not talking the optimizer. The optimizer is a fucking waste of time most of the time, in my opinion. Like, the optimizer is not needed to answer simple ass questions like, is defense circlet better than crit damage circlet for your account? You just put in your damn artifacts that you have and then swap out defense versus crit, right? So yeah, Elbait is not in this calculator yet. Wait, what? What are you talking about? I'm pretty sure I used this calculator with Albade. If you're talking the Genshin Optimizer, maybe, yeah, but I don't know. I'm a hater of the Genshin Optimizer. No, Albade is in this. Yeah. I am a hater of the Genshin Optimizer. So, anyways, just do the same thing with Optimizer. Do you realize whatever? I don't. Look, the Optimizer is a cool project. It has valuable aspects to it. I actually think if using it too much can cause you to just rely on it and not understanding how the optimizer is what the optimizer is optimizing around will oftentimes cause the optimizer to give you things that are blatantly wrong, in my experience. Like, it takes a lot of knowledge to actually know how to get the optimizer to give you the shit you need to give you a good answer. And the people that have the knowledge to be able to use the optimizer properly can just equip their artifacts based on their own knowledge already. Like, but to be clear, that's not to say like I'm all knowing or anything. I have used the optimizer in some cases before, but like it wasn't worth my fucking time to do it. So, and I don't know, but is there certain players that it can help them? Yes, it's a valuable project. I just think the project could be better if it was implemented in very different ways. So, anyways, yes, and if you want to do damage per screenshot, that is valuable. Congrats on the 50 CV, thank you. But for something like the question that was asked there, you use the damage calculator, you input your team, you click the buffs correctly, you make sure you put the debuffs in correctly, enter a level 105 enemy, or level 100, doesn't matter. That's not that big of a difference, especially for a NEFA. Or lunar damage in general. For Z-Buy was the question, actually, sorry. And then put in your crit damage circlet and put in your def circlet. Or if you don't have a def circlet or crit damage circlet, put in a hypothetical one with substats that you're aiming for, kind of thing, right? I mean, you could be pessimistic, you could be optimistic, whatever, right? I am curious what happens here on a experience level if we just swap out 1-for-1 Farina for Ino here. Because of the fact that we no longer have, this is something I haven't tried at all, right? Since I don't have Serenade in this team either, don't have instructors, so I'm losing some buffing, but then gaining, you know, damage buff from Farina and whatever, and gaining tenacity. And Farina's still on Fav, right? So we still have Fav, blah blah blah. There is oftentimes more missed vaporizes with Farina than there is with Ino. This boss shouldn't be that much of a problem. But yeah, I want to see what happens with the NEFA. So same build on a NEFA, but Farina versus Ino here. I think it should be better even without having Ascendant Gleam. But I'm curious what'll happen here, because what do we lose? We lose. Yeah, when you're in Ascendant Gleam, you get a further 40% lunar reaction bonus, which I believe is the equivalent to several hundred EM. So. Without the Ascendant Gleam, I think this is just like a good two-piece. To be clear, my build is now so good that it's probably better than what I have for two-piece because of this bonkers goblet that I have, but that is not normally the case. Also, I forgot the whole time I've had her on the EM timepiece. I should have had her on the attack timepiece with Skyward Spine. Whoops. I totally forgot. My bad. I guess we might redo the Ina run too, but let's just do with Farina first with attack timepiece and see if we notice the difference with attack versus EM there. Definitely should have had attack timepiece. My bad.
Defensive mode.
Bad.
Let's get it off. Drop your weapons.
I assume this should go a little bit easier, hopefully. We're never gonna get ER? There we go. Does that make sense to activate? Oh, I don't know what it did.
Installation chamber deployed. Ultimatum protocol.
Okay. Farina, we don't have Farina damage bonus is ending very shortly, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, Farina's quite significantly better here. Even with not having the full artifact set going. But to be clear, I did switch the timepiece as well, but I don't think the timepiece is making that much of a difference. Now. Should have Diosco going first. Could have prevented that interruption. But yeah, Farina C2 is better than Ino, guys. Crazy. Clearly that means Ino is a bad character. I'm gonna kill it before it gets its shield up. Nope. Okay. We might kill it. Oh wait, we will kill it before it actually does its next shield. God, it's so annoying to not be able to get coordinated attack particles, man. That's why I like couldn't burst into early. I didn't die from the second shield. How dare they? All right, there you go. Wow, crazy. That was a better attempt than what I know. I'm impressed, but it wasn't crazily better, and that's kind of my point. Like, that is not better enough to suddenly do dire difficulty, and I prefer the gameplay with Ino. I think it's more fun, and yeah, I don't know. But let's try this again though, because I had the wrong timepiece on a NEFA. Also, you're Farina at C2. Yeah, that's why I said C2 Farina. That's why I said I know it was worse than a C2 Farina. Like, we got barely better of a time than C2 Farina. And we might get really close to matching the time now that we changed that timepiece on Inefa here. I think that will actually quite help with this shield breaking. I really need to funnel particles to Dia. I kind of forgot. Whoops. Oopsies, that's a little bit of a mistake. Maybe a lot of it of a mistake. Okay. Fine. We can burst with this energy. Yeah. Sure, move around him a little bit, keep him in Ino range. Okay, this is, do not burst this rotation, that's fine. Do not, okay, good. I want to get this whole burst out before he goes into shield phase, ideally. You're gonna go into shield phase now. Yeah, that's fine. I should have just bursted there. I mean, that was about the same as the original attempt, so the timepiece didn't make that much difference. So yes, Ino is a little worse than Dia. Not that either of those were perfect runs. Or sorry, Ino's a little worse than Dia. Ino is a little bit worse than Farina. Oh no. Is that a 12 cost team? I mean, this is Ino on Fav, Chevreuse on Fav, Inefa on Skyward Spine, and Dia with her Sig, yes. And with C6, but these were cons that were acquired over 3 years without spending money, so sue me. I don't know, anyways. So technically, yes, 7, 8, 9 cost team, technically. Not 12 cost, but one of those is a standard banner weapon. And the rest are all Dia copies of standard banner character. Like, so, anyways. Like, all of my Dias were acquired from... There's 2 copies of Dia from the selector. The rest were standard banner, and then 3 copies were pulled on... so it was a total of about 200 pulls. 200 pulls spent on the Chronicle banner to acquire the last copies of Dia. And that was just... I saved and planned around that. So, yeah. Anyways. And yes, level 100, but I don't know. Like, level 100 is something I got. I chose to intentionally spend the only Star Glitter I had, or Masterless Star Glitter, Fortuna, Stellar Fortuna, whatever the fuck they're called, on Dia, because I wanted to. And I intentionally pulled one more extra copy of Dia to try to do it sooner, because I was impatient. So, yeah. Anyways, obviously we use Columbina. We would clear that dude a lot faster because Columbina and F combo go burr. Anyways, against this dude at least. I mean, then Columbina and F combo, I might be able to clear the Satire. Anyways, because this enemy is dumb. Anyways, let's see though what happens if I change to what should be my best build on my account, which is EM timepiece, crit damage siglet, and Staff of Skullet Seams. There we go. A little bit stronger of a Ninefa. Swap off Calamity R1 for Skyward Spine R5. I think Calamity should be better, no? As long as you're not doing something weird, like if I had Calamity, I think I would use Skyward Spine R5. Like 16 crit rate, kind of nice. with 16 crit rate for this team context, 16 crit rate. I wish I had Skyward Spine R5. I only have one. But 16 crit rate, 36 ER with max base attack weapon.
Accelerating.
Like that's pretty damn good for an Eva. That's really good. But for this team in particular, where I want to burst every other rotation, or where I like to burst every rotation,
That
but
might leave a scar.
like I could use a crit damage circlet on with an R5 spine. I could definitely use crit damage circlet on her, right? This. Make sure we get staff stacks. I think we do. Okay.
Insulation chain.
Alright. Yeah, good.
Annihilation mode.
Definitely quite a bit faster of a shield clear.
You asked for it.
Oh, let's not forget the Ino. Whoopsies. Almost definitely was going to burst on Dia before bursting on Ino. Rotate around a little bit. Here we go. Push him back.
Drop your weapons. Ultimatum
Alright.
protocol.
Gonna stagger you. Nice. Please keep staggered, staggered. No! Damn it. It's just the burst animation time diff. God damn it. Oh well. Is what it is.
Stop right there. Cleanup sequence initiated.
I think I lost status squad saying stacks. My bad.
Accept.
Okay.
Annihilation mode. You're dead meat.
There we go. And a better build on an Effa got a better clear than Farina did. Farina C2. So, yeah, obviously an Effa's damage matters here. Dia is doing a large chunk of team's damage, but obviously this enemy also incentivizes an Effa a little bit more. And Effa's damage a little bit more. Best way to make Dia better is to R5 her. Yeah, at this point, that's the only thing I can really do. Weren't we supposed to get 3 Masterless Fortuna? I don't think they said that. I wish, though. Yeah, I got 2 because I, like, happened to get a C7... No, I got a C7 and a C8 Kaching both last year during Natlan. Like, she was the only character I had C6, and I happened to lose 2 50/50s last year during Natlan. And that is what allowed me to get 2 Masterless Fortuna, and then I got 1 more by pulling an extra copy of Dia, because that was insane. So, yeah, this is Dia C6. So yeah, anyways, let's go to dire difficulty, though, with Columbina. And let's see if I can do a little bit of pushing the limits with Sucrose and Raiden. I did this yesterday when I got the new artifact. I did 1 run, and my best clear before was 111 on this dude. I got 4 seconds less with the improved Nefa build, so it was noticeable. But we'll see if I can do better. Wait, who's the other streamer you have? Oh, I can check your Zabai now. Oops. Who's the other streamer you watch? That's DSC6. And is she level 100? Boop. Oh, fuck, I can't. The browser's broken still. God damn it. Fucking hell. OBS, please. Fix this stupid issue. It's literally done this shit for years. Alright, I guess fucking desktop capture. God damn, insane that I have to do this. There we go. I just need to set up like I just need to do a desktop capture for this and avoid this issue. I'm sorry. I should be a better streamer at this point. It's dumb that I feel like I have to, but whatever. Anyways, refresh. There we go. Zibai, 86. Uraku, nice. 59, 310. 90% crit rate, yep. I mean, she does most of her damage in like 4 instances of skills and whatever, so you can optimize around that crit a little bit. I definitely don't think you need 100% crit rate on her. for optimized gameplay. That's a ridiculous circlet, by the way. What the frick? And a extremely good goblet, and an extremely good timepiece, and but SMH, it doesn't have EM or flat def. How dare you? And then your feather relative to that is just kind of relatable. Like, it's got flat, like, I mean, there's all your flat def stats. But that's a reroll target I've ever seen, because that's 3 flat def rolls, 3, 4, 5. This is a 4-liner. This is a perfect 4-liner piece for Zibai. So, yeah, I say you reroll this, because that, like, and that's your only improvement piece, right? Although you don't really want to go much lower than 90% crit rate, probably, in my opinion, because you're so inflated in crit damage stats. But yeah, very nice build, Shadow. Very nice, very nice. And now I gotta click 100 buttons. Do that, do that. Alright, there we go. Saw someone build full Dia full EM once and she hit strong, yeah. My Dia gets, I think, what, like 20k overloads? Level 100, to be clear, so it scales the value of transformative reactions meaningfully, but not crazily. It doesn't scale as much from 80. It's not as much increase from 90 to 100 as it is from 80 to 90, but I believe we're getting towards 20k overloads from Dia. That's a meaningful factor. So, what is that dog? What do you mean? Dude. Actually, you know what? I haven't tried this team against the dog. I don't think it clears Dire. I'm pretty sure. It's like, I'm pretty sure with the new Anefa build and better Columbina build now, this team is probably in the neighborhood of need to make sure I keep them not on field too much. Because of Albade, of course.
Ultimatum protocol. Defensive mode.
Confirmed. Animal test 60. Now you shall perish. There is no annihilation. Cleanup sequence.
I think I have staff stacks.
Absorption test.
Yep, I'm fine. Okay. Yeah, this team should clear the dog very easily. I mean, like, I with the worst Anefa build, I did Columbina, Sucrose, and Anefa alone at fearless difficulty without a problem. Unfortunately, as much as like Raiden is cool for being able to allow me to like burst saber rotation on these characters, and increase it, like make her one of the better options, to be clear, as the on-fielder for the Beneficor, I don't think she's so good. I do not think Benefa with Raiden driving is so good to clear Dire Dog. But I could be wrong. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't tried. We definitely can clear Fearless, like, trivially, though. Okay, not gonna be best. Oh, wait. No, not best. Yeah, so let's see what happens at Dire. Or Dire Dog. What artifact did you use the most dust? Oh, that's a good question. I used, I think, too many on some Skirk pieces. But what artifact did I use the most dust on? I know I've used 4. Have I used more? I don't know. I know I rerolled this twice. And, like, now it's in, like, okay. It's good enough to not bother. Actually, you know, I'm still tempted to reroll this. I'll start again. What have I used the most dust on? I don't know. Like, I think literally 8 out of 80% of the feathers I use go to, they do nothing. The best feather uses have always just been, like, smartly using the decree rerolls, I think. This might have had more than 2 rerolls into it. I can't remember exactly. Only to probably, by the way, Skirk, I'm pretty sure my Skirk's new best goblet is the attack goblet, by the way. I think this is probably her new best goblet, most likely. The only problem is I think my build is kind of balanced around having this crit rate. So maybe not. Like maybe this is my best goblet on Marsh to say Hunters, but attack goblet's a little bit worse on Marsh to say Hunters. So I don't know. Anyways,
Combat data. Please
I don't know.
rest
I don't know there's
assured
actually
I will
that
not
many
build a new
individual
fight again.
specific artifacts I got like that bent on rerolling a lot. I have like diversified rerollers enough that why is this starred? I don't need that to be improved. It hasn't been that wasteful. There are things I've been like, oh, I would like to reroll this. For the longest time I've been like, I want to reroll this. This is a friggin' 4-line onset electro goblet. If it rolls perfectly, it could become a perfect Yai goblet and not just official goblet too. Like it looks like a 3-line goblet because of the low flat attack rolls, but I just new artifacts keep on coming out, and I'm just like, well, at this point, like I'm obviously gonna reroll. Like, this is starred on Columbina, but I don't think I'm gonna reroll it. I'd rather just get a new piece. This is starred because it is pretty much the perfect. It's a 3-liner, but it's kind of the perfect starting stats that if I reroll this and it rerolls all into just not flat HP, then I'm happy with it. Whatever the roll values are, even if they're low. Although I do want at least one crit rate roll, right? Like I'm happy enough with this piece that is what I would like that to be at. And it's only one reroll feather, so it's fine. And then I'm gonna reroll this. So my priority rerolls are probably this piece and this piece next patch. But we'll see about this piece because I could easily get a piece that's better than this just by farming still. But this piece I'm going to because there's probably no way I get a better piece than this. Is 4-line double crit. It did start with low roll crit rate though, and I think low roll attack percent, but 4-line makes up for that. And if I manage to reroll it to get all crit attack percent rolls, then it's very good. Although amusingly now it would actually be quite bad if it rolled heavily into crit rate. So, like I actually don't know what would that do. I think that would mean I would have to switch to something like this P. No, sorry. I mean my Lanyan piece would be the best one, I guess. But I still think like if it rolls like 15% crit rate, so add 10% crit rate, I'd still be overcap, but not that bad, I guess. Yeah. I guess if it rolls super heavily into crit rate, I could also use this piece, which has an extra ER roll. If I don't need it, but I also prefer not. I would prefer not that situation. I'd actually prefer 2 crit rate rolls to about 10% crit rate, and the rest into attack percent. That would be my ideal. And then I have the perfect Inefa that would essentially be impossible to improve. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Lunar Dog. Think the team will struggle against the shield? Yeah, I think so as well. I don't think I'll clear, but because like Raiden doesn't contribute to the shield break here. Oh, we're gonna reset my time. Oh well, that's fine. That goblet would be amazing on an F or an off piece for Flynn's. Yeah, just in general. It's just a good piece in general. It's also just a good 2-piece bonus piece for a lot of contexts on my account. Oh, I thought you were gonna spawn over. Oh, I didn't get the particles on field. Frick. Wait, do I want to catch them on you or on Nefa? Probably on Columbina, right? Yeah.
Shine down.
Cleanup sequence initiated.
Get next. Okay, good.
A moonlit night for all. There is no escape. Torn to oblivion.
I probably should have refreshed VV.
Annihilation.
And it.
Surge.
Ooh, that might not have quite made sense. I think I ended it a little early.
Converge.
Defensive mode engaged.
Animal test 60.
We're gonna break the shield. It's incredible. Jesus. Oh, I didn't break the shield. Okay, we can definitely break the shield. That's ridiculous that we can break the shield though. I did not expect even being able to do that.
Cleanup sequence initiated.
Okay.
Illusion shattered.
Oil on-field riding a little longer this time. Make sure we get the energy for Columbina. There we go.
Defensive mode engaged.
I didn't refresh this first again because I'm dumb. Do it now.
A new moon rises. Now you
Okay,
shall
now the
perish.
shield will break. Yeah, okay.
Stand clear.
Cleanup sequence initiated. Annihilation mode.
A moonlit night.
I don't know if we have the damage in the down phase though. That's my question.
Shine down. Inazuma shines eternal.
Like, I don't think we actually have the good enough sustained damage. We have an advantage in the shield phase and a disadvantage outside the shield phase. So that's my guess here.
Swirl. Mark 2.
Ultimatum protocol. Installation.
Three moons converge.
But it's definitely closer than I would have thought.
On to oblivion.
Honestly, like, it's close enough that it's like a R1 and NEFA or R1 or C1 and NEFA dip, realistically. I'd be willing to believe that'd be enough to get there.
Illusion shattered. Inazuma shines eternal.
You know, I'm kind of glad this goblet happened like the day after her banner went away, by the way. 'Cause,
Ultimatum
like,
protocol.
I'm not gonna lie, it might, like,
A moonlit night for all.
having like a essentially perfect, like, again, I think I would have the #1 in NEFA if there was a Staff of Scarlet Sands leaderboard. I think I literally just have the best in NEFA right now, with Staff of Scarlet Sands, not like best period per se, because obviously a C6 NEFA probably does more. Anyways, yeah, I don't think Dire Dog is clearable. We should see what happens on the Fearless Dog. But the fact that we can clear the shield is interesting. But yeah, you need to clear the shield and have really good sustained, like you need that much damage to clear the shield, and you need, I think, like 150k DPS in the non-shield phase, and I believe this team is around like 130k DPS. So, isn't there one for Scarlet? Nope. There is no leaderboard for Staff of Scarlet Sands. So, anyways. Crap. And how the Knuckle Duckle is balanced next patch from the numbers we've been given, that you can look up if you want yourself, is like 24 million HP for Knuckle Duckle, and I think Knuckle Duckle will not be possible with that team, by the way. I'm pretty sure I can't clear Dire next patch, unless I can do something with like Columbina and Nefer next patch, then maybe I can clear Knuckle Duckle, like just let a Nefa Columbina clear the ducks, and then in the down phase just try to do as much damage as possible with Nefer. But I don't know, it seems really iffy. Like, I might be able to clear Dire next patch, I might not. You're riding C2R1? Fuck no. If Raiden was C2R1, then Dire would also maybe be doable. Like, Raiden contributes about 20% team DPS in this team, but it's also probably functionally lower than that, considering brain. Probably functionally lower than that, considering the lunar charge damage contribution is counted as hers when she's on field, mostly. But no, my Raiden is on Skyward Spine, C1. C1 doesn't really do that much. It increases Raiden's damage very slightly, which doesn't matter that much.
Installation chamber deployed.
Get max stacks.
Three moons converge. Inazuma shines eternal. Ha! Ha!
Annihilation mode. Cleanup sequence initiated.
I think we don't have max stacks and staff. So, we do. Okay, never mind.
Now you shall perish. Ha!
Oops, what are we doing?
Animal tactics.
On fielding Raiden more than made sense to.
Ultimatum protocol.
Absorption test. Animal hyper. There is no escape. Inazuma
I
shines
believe I only have to do 5 and 1 to be able to get energy back fully.
Animal test 60.
Installation check.
A moonlit night for all. surge.
Preparing for dust up.
No, how dare you? I bet we could. If I optimize this, I bet I can kill it before it does second shield. Oh, I saw a non-crit there, probably from Columbina.
Defensive mode engaged.
How dare you, Columbina?
Stand clear. Enhanced animal module.
It should be down by now. There you go. Character not in current party. Alright. Weapon do you run on Sucrose? I am running R5 Even Star. Which is quite good here. But not like incredible per se, because Raiden doesn't really need the attack buff that bad. It's nice. It does something. It's not like this is not as good as it would be with a Flint's team. I guess is the other thing is what I would say. Passing TTS buff to Inefa is probably more than enough. And maybe better, actually. I haven't actually tested that. So, yeah. We could bricks your account, yeah. Definitely. Do you think whales have full set of 50 CV pieces for one character? No. Not even close. Why is Geraldo trying to join? What time is it, by the way? Yeah, I have like 30 minutes. Apparently, I've been that distracted already. Holy, I didn't realize I've been streaming for 3 hours somehow. Jesus, my brain. So we'll go into polearms really quick, and then maybe we'll do a tiny bit of lantern right event stuff. Didn't mean to join. No worries. But yeah, like, no, 50 CV pieces are incredibly rare. It doesn't matter, even if you're, like, to be clear, if you are fully resin refreshing every day, you're spending like the $10 a day-ish to do that. I think it can be a little bit cheaper than that, but whoop-de-doo. You're spending the $5 to $10 a day to do that. You are, I believe, a little bit under tripling the total amount of resin you have. So, and most of that resin, if someone's full resin refreshing, I would be willing to be that is spent on artifacts. So I would say it's probably basically, yeah, tripling the total artifacts an account has. Which would mean I would expect an account, like if the same age account, if my account had been resin refreshing fully and spending basically all that resin on artifacts since I had started it, I would have expected my account Z-buy piece, Z-buy out piece, I guess. I would have expected my account to have probably 2 or 3 at minimum, just on a statistical level. But that's 2 or 3 in general, not the right main stat for a character build, not on a particular set for a particular character. Like, even people resin refreshing since the launch of the game would be unlikely to have 2 50 CV artifacts on a character. But if something like this happens to someone, right, where you get this 50 CV piece, it's an onset goblet that enables you to use an old offset piece, right? Like I could put the for example, the piece that I had on Yai, this piece is 49 CV. It could have rolled, just high rolled slightly more, and then this would have been a second 50 CV piece, right? And it's very likely that I think that accounts who are not very likely, it's much more likely that accounts who are like full resin refreshing for years on end would potentially have access to this situation more often, where they have like a near 50 CV or functional 50, like this flower is, and can put 2 of those on a build. It's probably still quite unlikely to have any more than 2 though, like very, very unlikely. So, yeah. There's some people in CN with full 50 CV sets IRC. I'm not that surprised. Like, my account started 1.5 years after. Yeah, if my macro with like getting 3 times the amount of artifacts. If you get 3 times the amount of artifacts and you full focus on, if you do, right, if you get 3 times the amount of artifacts as like my account does, and you started sooner, and you've like been farming fucking emblem. You've been farming emblem the whole last time and for 5 years straight. Then yeah, if you're hyper focusing a massive amount of resin then yeah, I could believe it. So, anyways, by the way, I maintain that resin refreshing is cringe and gacha games should not include that as a feature. Anyways, they all do, because obviously people spend money on it, otherwise it wouldn't exist. But that's also why it shouldn't exist. If I was going to draw up regulation for gacha games, that would be not legal. It would just be, yeah, you can't have a system that is meant for, like, I don't know, how do you define the regulation for that, I guess? You can't have a in-game purchase mechanism that is designed around incentivizing a player to spend money for in-game resources that are finite on a time-limited level, right? You can only generate a finite amount of it per time, and you cannot implement a mechanism that allows you to spend money to do more. I think it's really skeevy, and I dislike it. Anyways, Battle Pass is fine. Battle Pass, I understand. The game's free to play. I understand the Battle Pass balance. But anyways. 50 CV Animo Goblet and Wander, but I don't have an Animo DPS to use it. I'm assuming you mean Wanderer set. I bet you have Lanyon. And if you don't have Lanyon C1 to DPS her, maybe you didn't choose your character already. Whoops. Should go log into poems only. Did I do a test run here? I did. Okay. Oop. But anyways, I don't think any regulation will ever happen that will bypass that kind of thing, particularly because of the fact that the fact that there's a limit on how much you can resin refresh means, like, it's not inherently that problematic, I guess, right? It's not that problematic. But yeah, man, Varka got me wanting Zebai more. I'm sorry. I gotta be able to hold out until Varka, man. No, I don't know. I think Zebai, like, I think having Zebai on my account would enable me to make an interesting Zebai video, because my account has the right things to do some funny things with her. But I should do trials here quick. Cat cam. The cat's nearby? There are a cat. Oh yeah, Osher's still up there. He's been there the whole time. Look at the creature. Also, I feel like I got a bunch of here. Let me wipe you. I think there was fingerprints on the lens. Yeah, that seems clear. I spooked him. I didn't touch him. I just touched the cat tree. Can you eat Lulas on polearms? Frick no. That would require wishing on a terrible, terrible banner and losing a guarantee. That decision was already made. Sorry. Don't leg Zebai on a polearm only account?
Enhanced animal module 75.
No, I don't like Zebai on a polearm only account. Wasting a guarantee on a polearm only account for a character that does nothing on a polearm only account. If you're talking about on my main account, I like Zebai, but I don't think she will provide that much real value to me. I think my desire to play her right now is a very temporary desire. If you're not talking about polearms only. Who would be the next polearm on this account? C6 Raiden, C2 Escoffier, or a new polearm character. There's a chance that Linnea might be a polearm character, so, you know. But no, anyways, I do like Zebai a lot more than I thought I would. Thank you. I'll have to use another skill. Wow. Lohan has the highest chance of being a polearm? I guess, yeah. I don't know. Anyways. I didn't know you had a polearm account. My bad. Well, I just thought you were talking about polearms only because I literally just like mentioned polearms only a second ago. That's why. So, my bad for being a butthole. But yes, if you're talking about main account, I do like her. You can go watch my impression stream. I ended up liking her because of her combo that was the Billy Billy combo that was found. Which I might be able to demonstrate in the trial here. Probably not. They're probably not tanky enough. Here, we'll not burst to try to do it. Alright. Okay, couldn't quite do it because the enemies died, but, you know, doing the repeated E's back and forth from each other makes her a lot more engaging to play. And she has some interesting teams and whatever. But then, like, someone in my Discord also kind of, like, mentioned, like, oh, I don't care about Navia because... Or I don't care about Zibai because, like, I have Navia. And I was like, you know what, that's true. On my main account, my Navia has been sitting at level 8 talents for a while, and level 80, I think. I've been, like, I have a good enough build on her, and I can get more value from her and do more fun things with Navia if I min-max Navia. And the resources that I would put into Zibai could be put into just min-maxing Navia instead. It's kind of my perspective right now, right? Or other characters in general. So, anyways, combo saved her without it should be more boring. Yeah, and it's like it's not even like that massive of an improvement for her, other than just allows her to adapt to things better realistically. But it just makes her feel way more engaging to play. So, yeah. Anyways, I actually do like her. But at this point, I'm like, okay, as far as DPSs go, I do not even have the in-game resources to do like all the farming. For like, let's say I'm a content creator, I could justify the cost of like wishing acquisition of Flynn's, Varka, and Zibai if I wanted, but I do not have the in-game resources. I would, if I got all 3 Flynn's, Zibai, and I have Never, and Varka, I would be farming Leylines for the next patch and a half, right? I don't want to do that. It's not even the smart spending of resources on my account. To be clear, like, if I want to continue clearing dire difficulty, the smart play is getting Flynn's. Skip Zibai, skip Varka, get Flynn's, and that will probably, because right now I'm not sure I can clear Knuckle Duckle next patch. I might be able to, but I'm not sure. And if I do need Flynn's to clear dire, then I could get Flynn's if I wanted that. To be clear, although I will say, if it feels like it's a Flynn's diff for being able to clear dire, that kind of makes me stubborn, and I might be anti-Flynn's, I'm sorry. I might go full anti-Flynn's as far as that goes. Because if I feel the nag in my head of like, oh, if I had Flynn's I could clear dire when I've cleared every other single dire on my account before, that just makes me feel like, no, f*** you, Hoyoverse. I was considering before, but now I won't because you're being cringe with how you balance this enemy. That's my overall vibe. Flynn's for my shipping delusions, yeah. So, anyways, so like that's my current vibe. I think is like I might skip Flynn's next patch on Prince and pull the Duke man, who will not help my account clear Stygian, but will be bad and will be fun to play. Like, I don't know. I'm inclined to save my pity, get Mr. Duke hopefully with the 50-50 win, and then hopefully have wishes to get a signature weapon, and hopefully he's running with Escoffier, so if I lose his weapon, I at least get Escoffier's weapon, which is probably better than his anyways. So, did you manually censor yourself? Yes, because it's funny. I think it's all lock on. I don't know what it's probably. Okay, why am I farming this artifact set still? It's because I want one. It's because I want the perfect Flynn circlet. I'm trying to perfect Flynn's on polearms only. I want him to be perfect, and he's not quite perfect. He's close, but not there. I just need that 4-line circlet with crit rate, attack percent. Easy, right? Crit damage, main stat. But the game is trolling me by giving me Columbine. I would actually really like this in Columbine on my main account, but Leaked by Uncle Meese, yeah. Mr. Duke is on standard according to Meese. I see. Well, good to know. I'm glad.
We shall be quick as a flash. Let's
Yeah, I don't know. I hope that's the case. It's so funny if I'm gonna have to make a creator server video before the live stream, which I like. If I have to make a creator server, alright. It did have to roll entirely. Yes, an onset goblet that's a 3-liner has to roll entirely crit for it to be good on my Flins. I'm sorry. I have too good of a Flins build and too good of an off piece. That piece is competing with this as an off piece, and I don't have a good enough onset. I don't have good enough offset pieces to make up for like an onset goblet that's 30 CV. Will I keep it because it could be better to reroll than this piece? Maybe. This piece was actually I don't remember what this piece started with. I don't know. Like, this piece really annoys me. Like, look at the low roll values. Look at them. Breathe them in. It's so low roll value. It makes me annoyed. So I don't know. I'll roll it to the next level for if it max rolls crit or whatever. But otherwise, it's not worth it, unfortunately, on this account. Yeah, okay, now I continue to see if it does full defense, just to insult me. But you know what? Honestly, this is the 50 CV artifact stream. I shouldn't be complaining with what I got yesterday. I didn't deserve 2 days in a row of getting beautiful attack goblets. No. Are there any cats in the room? Yes. Was there another? Does it roll well? Oh, sorry, I should have waited. You're too slow. You're too slow. Anyways, that was yep. That was my chance at a Flynn's upgrade for the month, guys. Oh, you did get it in time? Okay. Check my Arlecchino. My goblet is the only one needing more feather for perfect roll. One more feather for perfect rolls. I mean, if you're just flexing your build, I don't know if I need to spend time doing that right now, but I have still not implemented any system for YouTube to redeem unit reviews, so maybe I should, and I haven't done a dedicated unit review stream in general for a while, so maybe I should. Maybe I should. Most voted before. Well, yeah. And most people voted no, and most people were right. Congrats. Okay. Anyways. I should have just ended the stream and then rolled it, because apparently I'm luckier with artifacts when I'm not recording. Every single one of the 50 CV artifacts I've ever rolled has happened when I wasn't recording, by the way. Just on days where I wasn't in the mood to do anything, but I did my artifact runs, and then, yup. That's the secret to 50 CVs, guys. Anti-streamer luck. Anyways. Yep. Now we need to do dailies in this account still, because I'll be able to avoid dailies for a while once I do Lantern Rite, but... When does Lantern Rite end? How much time do I have? 17 days. That's a lot of time. Rolled an artifact right when I talked about it. Nice. What'd you get? I'm going the wrong direction, aren't I? Don't get stuck. 5 rolls into crit rate. Why not 6? Did was it a 50 CV or not? Because like 50 CV is much more unlikely than 5 crit rolls, by the way. Like 5 crit rolls is just 1 and 1/2 to the power of 5. It's not that unlikely. 50 CV requires high roll start and high rolls throughout. And because there's 4 different possible variations of that, it's much, much, much more rare. You count the CV is just whatever your CV is 2 times crit rate plus the crit damage. To be clear, if that was a circlet, by the way, if you're talking a circlet, like you got a crit damage circlet that rolled 5 times at a crit rate, then that is better than a 50 CV piece, quite frankly. Like if you have a freaking crit damage circlet with 20 crit rate and other good stats on it, that is the true god piece. That is the true god piece for making ridiculous builds. It's like the ideal off piece that has so much crit damage circlet with so much crit rate in substats that it's almost a crit rate circlet unto its own. That lets you have massively more crit damage on a lot of characters' builds if you can put it as the off piece. 6 roll average 3.17, yeah. So, anyways, to be clear, you still got lucky. Congrats. It's still a good artifact. Don't over focus on needing high rolls. Like, getting rolls into crit at a baseline are much more important than having high rolls. It's just really annoying when you have so many low rolls that it functionally, like, you can have a 4-line artifact that turns into a 3-line artifact, or a 3-line artifact that turns into functionally the equivalent of a 2-line artifact. Like, you can functionally lose an entirely stat of value by having too many low rolls together. That's when I really hate things. The 50 CV is the inverse of that. Having so many high rolls that you gain an additional stat of value functionally. So, yeah. Varka would have been mid 1 year ago? Yes. Yes. Very yes. Anyways. Why did I teleport over here? Who knows? Varka feels like a Fontaine or pre-Fontaine era character in the spreadsheet. In the spreadsheet.
Yield. Faster, stronger. Stay out of my way.
Wrong test subject.
It's not that bad. I said feel. I didn't say damage performance. I said feel. Yeah, so you can perform well on his best teams. But I don't count Benefa as a Varka team, quite frankly. Yes, I do count Raiden Benefa as a Raiden team, but that's because it's using Raiden's kit to like improve the synergy of Raiden, or sorry, of Columbina and Anefa. You're using Raiden to get more damage on Columbina, a weird indirect buffer by giving energy to them, right? Varga is just a like why? Like, I mean, why? Because you want him, you like him, and he has flashing animations. That's why. Like, use the team if you like it, but let's be real, it's not really a Varka team. Varka is just another Dia. No, he ain't. Dia actually has reasons for like why she is balanced the way she is, because she offers off-field and defensive utility that is valuable. And if you don't think it's valuable, you haven't actually tried to give Dia a true shot, and that's fine. She's not so incredibly good that you like. I love Dia. I never universally recommend people need to build Dia, but she is a compelling option for various contexts. Now that there is so many options for off-field pyro in the game, particularly post Durin, Dia is at her least necessary that she's ever been. But also, the like interruption resistance, you don't need 100% uptime for interruption resistance most of the time, and you don't need high pyro application from off-field most of the time. I hate that as a coordinate attack, but she also makes your team very, very tanky in general, on top of the interruption resistance, and then has potential for damage. She has some potential for damage. It's not like incredible, even at full investment. She's not incredible. Like I would say relative to like what the high DPS meta is. When I had C3 Dia last year, Dia felt like just as strong as my C6 Dia does relative to the newer DPSs. Like it almost feels like my Dia didn't increase in strength. She just like kept up a little bit. But anyways, no,
Accelerating.
like saying that Varka is the same as Dia is not understanding anything about Dia's kit, quite frankly, in my opinion. To be clear, I made that mistake when Dia originally released. I made a freaking short that was like, here's the problem with Dia, and it was from that framework of like Dia as a damage dealer and whatever. But Dia grew over time meaningfully. And I found the places that she actually does make a lot of sense in. And I think she makes sense as a standard banner unit in particular. I actually like her quite a lot. Varka, like if Varka is a standard banner unit, that's good on the level of, you know, it's much more, he's a good standard banner DPS for sure. But he's also like not that good of a DPS as a standard banner unit if you didn't happen to have some specific 5 stars. So that are limited units that you can't pull right now, and who knows when you can pull Durin, who knows when you can pull Nicole, assuming she's good for them. Who knows when you can pull Venti again. Like it might be 6 months to a year for either of them. More, maybe. Right? And he's to a not insignificant degree apparently balanced around them. And be clear, I think a lot of people for a generic level will prefer Lanyan over Venti or Aoife as the second Animo in his teams, but his cons are too good to be standard. I don't know. Are they? What if they just increase the DPS ceiling to 200k next year with C0 characters? Beta tester said Varka's R1 can clear Dire. Yeah, against his shill boss, and if you don't have Venti, you go fuck yourself. Trust me, I've spreadsheeted it, Penguin. I've spreadsheeted it. He can, but most people won't. And it essentially requires Venti to do it with him. And like I would argue it's more on requiring Venti than it is. Like clearing dire difficulty of that boss is more on potentially requiring Venti. Maybe Kazuha can do it, maybe there will be some annoying fall damage tech. And it's not Varka that clears, it's other characters that make it possible. That's my overall opinion right now. Like I don't think you pull Varka to clear dire difficulty, right? Whereas if you do want to clear dire difficulty, you might have a reason to pull Flint, maybe. Still probably, I still don't think you should pull any character for dire difficulty to clear. So, Varka could be given for free. I think the most real cope right now is that we have soft confirmation, not official, that Genshin is coming to Steam. Because Hoyo's own website now supports connecting, like logging in with Steam, I believe. And like there was Steam like API stuff, I believe, added to Genshin's code. And that probably means that Genshin's coming to Steam, and maybe as part of coming to Steam, they're going to be giving away Varka as a free 5-star in order to try to get Steam players to try the game.
Accelerating.
And like on the level of like a really flashy dude, a flashy character to be given for free for a person that like just starts playing, damn. Pretty good. Actually, wait, can we cope more with this theory? What's his farmable materials? Are they Mondstadt flowers or are they freaking non-cry flowers? Because I'm thinking from the perspective of like, what if he's a permanent free character, right? Like he's a limited unit, but permanently 1 copy free, from AR20 or whatever, right? And then brand new players, because one big problem Genshin I maintain has, particularly versus other gachas, like you can play Enfield right now, by the way. There's a selector in the mail. You get a free 6-star, you get the standard banner 6-star, and then you will reach pity on the normal, you get the beginner banner 6-star. 6 stars are 5 stars in Enfield, and then you get to pity very quickly on standard banner as well. So you get 3 6 stars. Oh, and you get the free and you get the free healer 6-star as well, who's a very good buffer and healer. Well, the healing part is less of focus in Enfield's combat, but anyways, like. So the high rarity characters in Enfield, in like a week of play right now, you can feasibly get 4. Statistically, there's a decent chance you'll get a dupe of one of those characters, to be clear. But like, I got 3. I think 3 is probably what most people can expect. A lot of people will be able to get 4 out of 5 of the standard units, and they're all like pretty good. Even the one that people consider bad, people are finding tech for how she is good in Enfield. Enfield did that because they defrauded people with PayPal. I mean, yeah, that's an L on their part. And they didn't say that was why they gave it out, but I don't give a shit, yo. Fine. F***ing fine. If you want to, like, if we want to go into the, oh, but they only did it because of this, then fine. Minus that. Oh no, only 3 high rarity characters. Meanwhile, in Genshin, it can take you a fucking month. It can take you a month or like 100 hours of consistent gameplay to try to get a specific 5-star. Like, there's enough content in the game that you can absolutely get like, you could start playing right now and get Zibai without getting lucky and go to 150 wishes twice. But it's going to take you so fucking long. It takes you so much like gameplay time to even get the high rarity character in the first place in Genshin. It's so bad. And every other gacha game, they recognize that that's a bad new player. It's a really bad new player experience to make it really hard to get any high rarity character immediately, right? And they all do a beginner banner that like you progress through the first little bit of the story and then you get the beginner banner like free 5-star or free high rarity character, right? Like free Ardelia ends and they give the free selector seems planned. Yeah, it might be planned. It might have not been. I don't know, right? So. Oh, holy gifted. Thank you, Mimissy. Mimiss me? I like your username. Is it Mimiss me or Mimiss me? Mimiss me. I don't know. It's hard to say and I like it. Anyways. Thank you for the 10 gifted. Enjoy your ad-free viewing. If anyone wants to join my subscriber Discord server, it's a mystery. If anyone wants to join my subscriber Discord server, you can see free cat picture of Asher being cute this morning. Anyways. Yeah, none of the other gacha games are as successful as Genshin, though. I mean, that's because Genshin was first at making a high quality, right? Like, was there another like Genshin level quality 3D open world gacha game? Like that. Also, to be clear, 2 things. One, Genshin was one of the first. They might have not been the first high quality 3D open world whatever gacha game, but they fucking had COVID, yo. They had COVID. They had COVID. COVID made Genshin what it was. Let's be real. Like, COVID was so fucking perfect for a grindy-ass game that forces you to spend a lot of time regularly logging in every day. Like, it was the perfect recipe, yo. It was the perfect recipe. Yeah, may as well be COVID impact. Let's be real. Genshin would not be as successful as it was and had the influence in the industry it did, even if it didn't just get lucky releasing that time. But I think, like, MMORPGs are way worse. I mean, sure. But anyways, like, my point is for gacha games and being one of the core things, like, that motivates continued play, acquiring the high rarity characters, right? Acquiring the new flashy animation characters. I feel like a pretty significant problem Genshin has for any new players is that you just even if you do get lucky and like get a standard banner character early from like the shitty beginner banner that Genshin has, or from your pittance of standard pulls they give really slowly, I like if you lose your if you get an early on this banner, right, and you get Kaching, you as a new player, you can fucking feel that character feels like a Genshin from 2020 rather than the new characters that feel like Genshin from 2026, right? And that feels bad too, and that just might make a lot of new players stop playing the game. So again, that's the cope, right? That's the cope. Oh, we didn't check Varka's materials. Is this gonna work now? Nope. Great. Whatever, I'll just check it myself. I don't need to show it. Varka's materials, are they monster materials or not? They are. Well, no, sorry, the robot is not, and the boss material is not. Okay.
No problem. I can add them shortly.
I'm
quite used to it.
But he uses Mondstadt plant. Right? He uses Mondstadt plant. And a boss drop from Not Cry. But you can teleport straight to Not Cry, right? I don't know how many people would realize that as new players, right? In case anyone wasn't aware. This waypoint, I believe, was unlocked by default. They do this with most new areas now, it seems like. At least the ones that are disconnected in some level. Over water. So, like, if you're AR-20, and as long as you realize you can teleport here, it's not like it's that long of a walk to fight wherever the boss is going to be. And then you can fight the robots here too. So, because some new players would think they would have to explore the whole ass world to be able, like, imagine being a new player starting over in Mondstadt and being like, and getting Varka for free. You're like, oh cool, I can get his plants here. Oh, what boss does he use? And the map's like, what? And it's like, oh my god, how I am a new player. How do I go? Do 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 do. Oh, wrong direction. My bad. Do 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 do. There we go. We got to the area where the boss is. They made the waypoints not visible no matter the zoom. Yeah. So you know what? I think the cope is real. He uses wolf hooks. A new player can feasibly collect the plants. In Mondstadt. And he uses Mondstadt domain materials. They'd have to learn to teleport to Nodcry and farm a little bit of Nodcry robots, but not that many. Like, they'd be fine. So, I don't know. I say we can still be on the cope that Varka is free, right? Free because they wanna draw on new players with Steam. That's my cope. We'll see. And I love him as a free character. I think he's a cool character to get for free. He'll still be Duke for most accounts, to be clear. But that's fine. And for some accounts, he'll be, like, pretty good.
Thank you
For a lot of accounts, he'll be bad. On, like, an endgame meta level, that is, right? But that's fine. And there's no account where he'd be incredible for. Right? And that's why he should be free. And he's a good free character. Other than, like, his ideal team balance requirements are kind of cringe. But Sucrose is freely acquirable now too. So is Fischl. Right? Like, Bennett was one of his ideal teammates, whatever. I hope Eonsan's on his banner. We'll see. Anyways. Free unit is just good PR? Yeah. So yeah. I've reevaluated my cope. My cope is that he's free and he should be permanently free from like AR20. Because that could help with like actually enjoying the game as a new player. Having a big old man and swinging his swords around. From AR42? No, I mean AR24. I know the meme is 42, but AR42 is too long. That takes like 2 weeks of consistent play. Anyways, I need to go in like less than 30 minutes. Should I log into Enfield quick and show you my nightmare factory? No, I think I'll show you when I go and log in to do polls in the weapon banner. And Gilberta banner comes out. Increase AR to 67, yeah. Then when Varka isn't free, we start calling next unit free. Exactly. If we keep on just calling every one of the next characters free with whatever logic we have, then eventually it will come true. Wow, that was some artifacts. So close. So close. I think I'll lock it. So close. A big part of the reason I'm farming this set is trying to get and ignore that. Ignore this. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm trying to get a perfect circlet for Raiden. Onset. Because my current crit rate circlets aren't very good. And this one technically could be okay. But probably not. Case in point. I don't know, give it one more roll. Max roll, crit damage, or trash can you go. Alright, I mean that's a max roll. Yeah, that's something I guess, but not what I needed. Okie dokie. Well. Yep. Anyways. Should I just end the stream? Should we just find someone to raid? So I have to go in a bit. Chat's got an EM sans cope. No, it can work pretty well. I redeemed a review 20 minutes ago. Oh. Sonnet incoming? Oh. I didn't even realize this endless patch was a day. Sorry. I'm not planning to pull for her. I'm planning to pull for Yuzu M2. Sana, like, I have the Fox. I don't care about her enough. Like, it would be nice for team options for Fox, but... Like, I haven't even been arsed enough to, like, properly learn any, like, real combo patterns with the Fox. She's completely just brain off visual stimmy to me. That I see zero value in getting Sana to improve her, because I don't care about improving her. She's just visual stimmies. Right? So, why would I bother getting her as my vibe right now? I like her animations, it's fun, but... she has some interesting gimmicks with her kit that have interesting synergies in theory with, like, her thing that counts as damage for whatever your on-fielder is. I know people have been talking about, like, weird Billy synergy, which is kind of cool. But, again, I'm more interested in getting Yuzuha M2. So. Anyways. Dial-in is for YSG, and I don't like Sana. I mean, yeah, YSG's new best team is Dial-in Sana. I'm fine with Zhao Dial-in, essentially. And if I'm not going to bother playing her well enough already in her current team, I'm not going to, what is the point of pulling a character to improve her team options? And, like, to be clear, I could, like, the most valuable thing she could potentially do is, like, free up Dial-in for another teammate. So I could play the Fox with Sana and Zhao, and then I can play Monato with, like, Dial-in, for example. But, I'm not really worried about it. I think I'll still be able to clear endgame regardless with the characters I want to use whenever I want to use them. Meh. Wasn't the best one Zhao Sana? I mean, I think it's going to depend on enemy context, no? I think that's the current theory. Is one or the other could be better depending on what the enemies are and the buff for the deadly assault is, kind of thing. So, because the functional value of the different resources each of them give can be optimized in different ways depending on what's going on with the fight, right? So I think they're close enough in performance that it's just going to depend. But I imagine most people would find Dial-in better. That's my prediction. But anyways, did a sneaky temple and Zibai banner and spiked her on the first pull. Literally zero pity. Nice. Free character's the best. I am at pity on both accounts now, so yeah. You know what? I guess let's log into the casual account quick. Do Gamba on casual account. Let me find somebody to raid. Wait, I don't know if I have any Gamba actually. I might have no Gamba. Maybe Gamba. Bloop. I do have Gamba. Is that, I think I did claim the... Okay. Is that a temple? That's not a temple, is it? God damn it. How close am I to a temple? Annoyingly close. Dailies get me halfway. Stygian gets me the rest of the way. Wait, does Abyss get me the rest of the way? No, I did clear this Abyss anyway. Wait, what about this? Oh, let's go. Theater? I don't really feel like doing theater right now, but like I should. Yeah. I don't even know if I did the last theater, to be honest. I bought the shop wishes, I believe. I used the shop wishes on an F banner. Wait, what am I doing? Wait, if we condense resin, I think I have expedition points. Right. Oh, I had exactly 3 crystal flies. Let's go. Maximize, yeah, let's go. Maximize laziness 10 pull. I don't even feel like actually doing anything on this account right now. Don't actually want to do nothing. But it would be funny to get yet another DPS without having any compelling supports for them.
Thank you.
That's basically what this account has turned into. Having a DPS with, like, not having the ideal supports. Like, we don't... Actually, is that a reason not to pull in this? That's true. What the frick does my team actually look like? Sibai, Itlua, in theory. We'd have to get him, though, which is a problem. I know, which I have C1 of. I know this is C0, but I haven't claimed the free one. So, I know, for sure. Itlua. And you're probably going to say Goro. Goro, I believe, is... yeah, dog is C0. The dog is C0. So honestly, I would prefer a slot in that would just like give me defensive utility so I could use Harbinger of Dawn. I think that would be better. Like just adding a shield so I could use, or healing so I could use Harbinger is better, I think. Like yes, I know Goro can heal, can do his skill. I know. Lanyan, yeah. Maybe I just Lanyan, that's true. If only we had a TDDS for defense buffing. Sorry. Prototype Amber Sucrose. If only... Yeah, I think it might be either Sucrose or Lanyan. Yeah. Dahlia. Does Dahlia do anything? C0 Dahlia. Oh boy. I mean, wait, is his burst on his shield or his skill? It's on his shield. His burst. That's his burst. Is his shield on his burst or his skill? It is on his burst. That sucks. Yunjin. Yunjin would be interesting. She wouldn't enable Harbinger of Dawn particularly freely, though. So, yeah, I don't know. Dahlia is an interesting option. Reduces energy needs for Ino. Would be nice since I don't have C4 Ino. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I think it's interesting enough. Alright, nothing. I know. That's I know C2. We take extra Hydra application. That's a win. That's something. Although in theory that could actually cause problems for Mulani. No, it's only when her burst is active. It's fine, I think. Yeah, never mind. Alright. Well, probably nosy by then, because I don't think I'm going to log on to do any more pulls. But... oh, I should probably try to claim the free... whatever's, right? The free character from Lantern, right? Who do I want from that? Frick. Leeway characters. You are C4. You are C6. You are C2. You are C4. If I had gotten lucky with Farazan, I would have maybe considered Lanyan, but maybe it's Lanyan anyways. Do I have a Yao Yao? Yeah, I definitely have Yao Yao. I used her a bunch. So C0 Yao Yao, but Yao Yao cons aren't really important for most of her utility. Who else am I missing? Beidou, Wang. Anyone else relevant? Xinyan for PvP, yeah. I'd say C2. Eh. I'd probably just choose Lanyan, yeah. Oh well. Oh, Gaming, that's true. What's he at? Am I blind? Do I not have him? I have C-1 Gaming. I'm not gaming. Sad. I guess maybe I should try to get a C-1 or C0 gaming. RIP. Not particularly close to C6, I would say. Alright. So, I don't know. It also just, I don't know, it just doesn't matter that much, I feel like. Right now, on his account. If it was like a Shivers copy though, holy. That'd be big. That'd be pretty big. But no. But no. Yeah, I don't know. I'll think of if I care enough to do something. Oh, look, an alarm's going off. Okay, let's go find someone to raid, I suppose. Oh. Alright, I guess I'll buy YouTube if you can join Twitch chat in the description. Thanks for joining the stream. Maybe stream tomorrow, maybe not. We'll see. Depends on how I feel and the videos I want to record tomorrow. Bye. Feel free to join the Twitch if you want to join the raid for some reason. Bye-bye. And let's find Aggro. How long have you been here, Aggro? Hello.
My parents
Let's
always
go
say,
raid
matter
Aggro.
how
No, I
busy
assume he's
life
not live.
gets,
That'd be a little weird.
you should